Homes would love to partner with you to build a home you'll be proud to own. Jennian Homes, New Zealand's most awarded and trusted home builder.
Lincoln University. The future belongs to the relevant. With industry-specific knowledge, hands-on experience and world-leading research, Lincoln graduates are relevant today and ready for tomorrow. Lincoln University. Apply now.
The lifeblood of a city is its people. People provide the character and the energy of a city. Ōtautahi, Christchurch, our city, is founded on the spirit of exploration. It is embedded in our city's DNA. Our history has been shaped by it. Our present is built upon it, and our future will be created by it. Christchurch has always been about new beginnings, explorers, innovators, and people doing things differently. Our people are explorers, challenging the status quo, exploring ideas with impact and shaping our future. Our city is creative, organic, and evolving. It is a place to grow, connect, and find balance. Explore our past, our present, and our future. Explore Ōtautahi, Christchurch.
This Athletics New Zealand event is proudly brought to you by Jennian Homes.
Open para-athlete women's discus, men under 18 long jump, women under 20 shot put, and starting at 9:30 is the pole vault, men's pole vault under 20. So Quinton Rue and Damien Blocky have less than 4 laps to go now.
So on screen here, at the New Zealand Track and Field Champs, the last day of the competition, and we're kicking off with the 10,000 metre walk, and it is Quinton Rue, the face of male race walking in New Zealand currently. He's ranked almost inside the top 10. He's in the world, he's a consistent top 16 performer, particularly in the 50k walk. Here we see that well-practiced technique of Quinton Rue out of Wellington. Trying to see what singlet he's wearing today. Is that a wax singlet, Wellington Harriers? Could well be. So as we come down here, we'll get a look at how many laps to go. I think he's into his 4th to last lap, so I think we've got 3 laps to go here. We'll get a little look at the lap counter. 3 laps to go, so 1,200 metres to go. So if you have joined us, welcome to the 2019 Jennian Homes New Zealand Track and Field Champs. We are into day 3 of the 3-day competition. We've got an exciting lineup ahead of us, notably the 1,500 metres on the track in the 200 metres, and of course rounding off the day with the very exciting 4x400s. We'll also have some steeples, and as you can see, the 10,000 metre race walk happening at the moment.
Now into the second round here in the under-18 men's long jump. Sam Collier of Southland, 6.52 in the first round, 6.31 there in the second round. And Charles Annals of Waikato Bay of Plenty at 6.41 in the first round.
Good morning, guys, and welcome to day 3 of the Jennian Homes Athletics New Zealand Track and Field Championships for 2019, coming from the Puna. It looks as though we've got
our leader Quinton Rue coming
in for his last lap. Getting the bell there, 400 metres to go.
And our Polish visitor, Damien Blocky, getting the bell.
And Damien looks like he's in second place. No. No. 2 laps to go for our lead woman, Alana Barber, 800 metres to walk. Here comes Quinton now, long server of Athletics New Zealand. Quinton comes into the home straight now. He's got 100 metres left.
Leading walker is in the home straight, ladies and gentlemen. Give him a big hand. National champion and national record holder, Olympic rep, Quinton Rue. This is just a sprint for him. He's used to doing 50k.
Big effort in these challenging conditions down here in Christchurch this morning.
10k championship walkout. And our Polish visitor, Damian Blocky, a very good second. And if you think race walking slow, try and run 10k in 41 minutes.
Our lead woman, Alana, coming through, which what I believe will be 2 laps to go.
Coming up to get the bell. Alana
1 lap to go.
2 to go, is it? 2 to go.
We'll trust the lap scorers on that one. 2 to go for Alana. We're looking now at our lead woman coming in.
Top woman on the track, Alana Barber. I think
Alana Barber coming in first place. Oh, bell lap, sorry, bell lap. 400 metres left to walk.
And Nelson McCutcheon, top junior, he gets the bell.
Alana Barber now into the back straight. 300 metres left to walk. She is absolutely flying.
Alana Barber, last 80 metres of this 10,000 metre track walk. Fantastic Commonwealth Games silver medalist Alana Barber.
Big hand, ladies and gentlemen, for Alana Barber.
And the crowd showing their appreciation for Alana Barber.
She comes down the home straight.
As we welcome into the commentary booth interim CEO of Athletics New Zealand, Pete Fitzinger. Welcome, Pete.
Thank you, Hamish. Great to be here.
Right up to the lip. Yep.
Got it. All right.
Just like the cricket commentators, Alana Barber looks like she's happy with her day's work. We were talking on the way here, Pete, about race walking and just the dedication and talent of these athletes, particularly our top two athletes, Quinton Rue and Alana Barber. And you were saying Quinton might be one of our top 4 or 5 highly ranked international athletes in New Zealand right now.
Yeah, on the IAAF list, he's somewhere in the top 15, which ranks him very highly among Kiwis. Obviously, Tom, Eliza, Val, Nick, and yeah, he's very much up there.
Yep.
Very impressive, tough event.
Yep, and a couple of impressive athletes as we see Rosie Robinson. There's Laura Langman, Hawke's Bay, coming up. I think she'll have 1 to go when she goes past the start-finish line. But Pete, you're currently acting as the interim CEO of Athletics New Zealand. Now, for those tuning in at home, they may not immediately recognise the name Pete Fitzinger. They might know of your wife, Chrissy Fitzinger, who was one of New Zealand's best ever middle distance exponents. But you've got a bigger history in the sport yourself. Do you want to give us a bit of background?
Sure, yeah,
with the accent, you're not a native-born Kiwi.
No, thanks. Yeah, we're a tragic athletics family. Because, yeah, Chrissy was I think the New Zealand Secondary Schools 100 and 200 champion and went on to represent New Zealand in the Olympics as a middle distance runner. Yeah, I started running way back in high school and ended up making 2 Olympic teams for the U.S. in the marathon.
I like how you make that jump there. I ran in high school and then made 2 Olympic teams. You were All-American at Cornell?
No, it was never All-American. No, I was one of these slow, progressive kind of guys, and whatever the longest thing was what I did. And the marathon ended up being the longest thing out there, and that suited me quite well.
And making 2 Olympic teams in what was a bit of a golden era for USA distance running with Alberto Salazar and others, Dick Beardsley, etc., etc. I could search in the memory banks for more names, but it was a really competitive era, and you, to my mind, competed very, very well at those 2 Olympic Games. Do you want to go through your finishes? I know there was an 11th place in there.
Yeah, so I was 11th in Los Angeles, 1 behind Rod Dixon, but well behind him. And then 14th in Seoul 4 years later.
Yeah, and like so many people, you were wooed by the charm and wit of a New Zealander. When did you move over here to the land of the long white cloud?
Well, I first trained in New Zealand in '83. Kevin Ryan was coaching me. For those of you who remember Kevin Ryan, 2:11:43 marathoner, identical
out of Tokoroa.
Tokoroa, Auckland.
We did spend some time in Tokoroa.
Did he?
So yes, we'll go with that.
All right. Anyhow, Kevin said you should come down to New Zealand to train, get out of the Boston winter, and prepare for the U.S. Olympic trial. And so I did that in '83. And then we moved here permanently in '97.
Yeah.
So 21 years.
And for
the past several years, you've been part of the setup at High Performance Sport New Zealand as we've developed a world-class high performance sport system there. How long with High? Close to a decade?
Yeah. So when the New Zealand Academy of Sports System started in 2000, I was the sports science and sports medicine manager for the top half of the North Island, and then that evolved, became the CEO for the North Island for a number of years, and then part of High Performance Sport New Zealand.
Fantastic.
And here I am. Yeah.
And there's Tony Sargison, Commonwealth Games silver medalist from 2006, still going strong with 1 lap to go. Laura Langman, 1 lap to go. Your second place female out of Hawke's Bay, well-trained athlete. And people may best know the name Fitzinger, those running tragics, as an author and a coach. You've got a couple of books out, Training for Marathon Runners, Better Training for Road Racers, is that it?
Yeah.
I may have butchered the titles,
No,
or just made
that's
them
close
sound
enough.
bad
Yeah.
by making them sound like a question.
There's one
Alexander
called
Brown
Advanced
from
Marathon.
Otago,
That's the
one
more
to go.
popular, and the third edition's coming out in a few months. So we wrote that one towards the end of last year.
Yeah. Fantastic. Very good stuff. And you're enjoying your time with Athletics New Zealand thus far?
Yeah, it's it's a great challenge after a whole lifetime in athletics to really understand the role of the National Sports Organization, understand the challenges. We're here to serve the members, and there's a lot to that. And we have a good level of resources, but limited resources. So how can we best serve the members? How can we best connect with clubs? How can we best connect with the competitors, build the pool of officials, help develop coaches, etc. So there's a lot to it, and I'm very much in learning mode.
Well, you're doing very well, and thank you very much for your time today, Pete Fitzinger, Interim CEO of Athletics New Zealand. We're going to hand over now to Ian Babe, the President of Athletics New Zealand. So if you just
Thanks, Hamish.
Thank you, Pete.
Second woman home, Laura
We'll see
Landry,
some footage
straight.
now. Headphones. This is one of the junior men long jumps, just going through their warm-ups now. And we saw the finish of the leading junior race walker. I do believe that was Lucas Martin winning the junior men's under 20 race walk. Here's Sarge. For my mind, Ian Babe, Tony Sargison, silver medal at the 2006 Commonwealth Games, one of the most underrated ever performances in Commonwealth or Olympic sports. So with that, I'm welcoming Ian Babe, President of Athletics New Zealand, into the booth. Welcome, Ian. How's your day going?
Well, it's a bit wet here today, isn't it?
Good work, Alex Brown from Otago.
So we're looking at maybe a bit of rain most of the day.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the weather has been the only the only slight letdown of this weekend.
Yeah, but it's been really impressive. I've been delighted to be here in the last 2 days.
Yeah, we see some footage of Rosie Robinson now with, I believe, 1 lap to go. The Cantabrian, coached by John Bowden, local. In fact, she's coming up with, I believe, 100 metres to go, Rosie Robinson. So, Ian, you're in your first of a 2-year term, I believe, as the President of Athletics New Zealand. Is that correct?
That's correct. Previously, it's been a 1-year term, but recently the board put it through to a 2-year term. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, well, it's quite an important role to Athletics New Zealand, but one that perhaps not a lot of people appreciate and understand. Do you want to give us a brief rundown? So you are a member of the board. You're the president as opposed to the chairperson. What does that role mostly entail?
Well, it's really a supportive role, and getting around and working with athletes and officials and encouraging the development of the sport as a total sport. Yep.
And I see you around at a lot of events, undertaking official duties, a lot of medal ceremonies, etc., stuff like that. Is that correct?
That's correct. But I'm really passionate about this magnificent sport that we're part of, and I take an interest in all facets of the sport and try to really encourage the officialdom and the coaches in particular.
Yep. And so for yourself, you've got a big background in the sport. You've been involved for many years. Do you want to kind of run us from, I guess, give us the cheat sheet version of Ian Babe's involvement in athletics? You would have started as a young fella, I imagine.
Way back, guys, in the middle of the last century, sort of thing. And as a young intermediate athlete, joining Athletics Whangarei and Cycling Club in those days, and going right through the club. And I've been a member of that club since 1947, and still a member and patron now. So huge background in that club.
And a fair bit of coaching experience and expertise.
Yes, I've coached in 3 high performance sports actually, which is it's been spread over not just in athletics, but athletics has always been the key development for me as a coach. But I've worked in rugby
and father and son
triathlon
finishing
as well.
together. Graham Jones and Ryan Jones.
So
Give them a big hand, ladies and gentlemen.
the Jones father and son duo coming across to finish.
And Rosie Robinson
Fantastic
finishing.
to see
Third woman on
the Jones family out of Hawke's Bay, and Rosie Robertson finishing as well, picking up a medal in the senior women's race walk. 3rd place behind Alana Barber and Laura Langman of Hawke's Bay. So Ian, I'm going to put you on the spot now. We've got an exciting day of action ahead of us. Anything in particular you're looking forward to?
Yeah, looking forward to the 1500 metres. Those races, they're going to be really classic here. We've got exciting athletes coming through, and like breaking 4-minute miles and that sort of thing, which is when you're young, and that's what we need. We've had Nick Willis for many years being our top exponent in that area, and now we've got these young exciting people coming through.
Yep, it will be an exciting race. Ian Bay, President of Athletics New Zealand, thank you very much for your time this morning, and do enjoy the rest of the action today.
Delighted to be here, and looking forward to the rest of the day.
Excellent. We're going to welcome back into the commentary booth Oscar Baynes, local marathon exponent. Is this the... thank you again, Ian. Is this the typical Sunday morning weather, Oscar, that you battle through when you're out for your 35k long runs?
Definitely between middle of April to the middle of September. She can be pretty rocky out there on the Port Hills.
Yep, definitely. Now it looks like we've got Sarah Amy Rind. No, that is 220. That's a junior race walker there. Sarah Amy Rind here.
Well walk, Corinne Smith from
360. That's Corinne Smith of Northlands, finishing 4th place overall, or 4th place in the senior women, should I say. Action in the long jump. Thank you to Hayden Sherman for running and getting these heat sheets for us. Those are certainly not. We'll go through, and we're at 6s and 7s here as usual, ladies and gentlemen. Multiple events starting already this early in the morning.
Men's 18 3K track walk presentation.
So we've got on the long jump
a huge field
of under 18 men, and this is Sarah Amy Rind of Race Walking Auckland. Some footage there, and that long jump 5:95 by the Aucklander. We'll get our coverage a bit more organised in the coming minutes. But
we're at 6s and 7s without Hayden. Held everything together yesterday for sure.
Yeah, Hayden is certainly the anchor of the broadcast. Oscar and I very much we attempt to be helpful amateurs, but fantastic to have Pete Fitzinger, interim CEO of Athletics New Zealand, and Ian Babe, our president, joining us briefly in the commentary booth. Great to hear from them.
Huge wealth of knowledge.
Yeah,
Peter in here.
And both of those gentlemen. Here's 473 of Canterbury. It's hard to find the names because there's so many in this field. Go, Chris. So the athlete, this could be an athlete who's wearing a. Oh, he's fouled out of that jump anyway. So that's a different field.
That shot put, they're definitely not long jumpers.
So we're relatively sure, given the start time, that this is the under 18 men's long jump. Just not able to find that particular athlete's number. Here's the junior men's pole vault action. Nice clearance there. One of the troop of Auckland-based pole vaulters. And he's in a hurry to get back and get his sweater on. Clearing 360 comfortably, though. Here we see the decathlete, Brent Bickle coach decathlete. Race walker Sarah Amy Rind coming up to finish. Hard slog, 25 laps on the track in unforgiving weather. Oh, and one more lap to go. Been out there for the best part of an hour in rather trying conditions. That is Matthew Orkamp clearing 360 in the pole vault. PB of 390, so doing well in tough conditions. So we're heading for a high of 18 degrees today. We're hoping this rain and cloud will clear.
Morning rain, then drizzle. Southerly breezes, so headwind in the back straight for those athletes competing for a couple of laps.
Yeah, it is. I won't go on about the weather too much longer, but it is a shame because this local organising committee has done a great job of putting together a fantastic event. All of the athletes are primed. They've trained all season for this, and then they're not quite getting the conditions that they need to perform their best. I know it was very disappointing for some of the athletes I coach, although they performed well, obviously with better conditions. They could have got even better performances. Cantabrian on the runway, that is Edward Hysing, 18-year-old out of Canterbury. Ooh, just unable to get his feet up and over. Another under 18 long jumper. I like the sensible long tights in these conditions. It's Joshua Bull, the 17-year-old. He's got a PB of 6:55.
$5.50 for Joshua Bull. Over to the pole vault. Men's under 20. Nope. Back at the long jump. $2.46 is Stephen Thorpe, 17 years old, out of Auckland. The white flag. A great clearance there from one of the Auckland jumpers. We at 363, 375 for the men's under 20 pole vault competition at the moment. Must be trying conditions out there for the pole vaulters. Trying to get that pole to stick. She's fairly wet out there. It's more than a drizzle for sure. Back at the long jump, one of the Tasman athletes. Adam Stack out of Tasman with a 6 metre, 10 centimetre jump. There's not heaps of wind out here, but definitely with the southerly probably at the back of some of the young long jumpers. Southland athlete. Takinda Mabonga. Here he goes. Great flight. Everyone gets clearance. Fantastic jumping in these conditions. Vaulting, I should say. Get my terminology right. He's clear at 3.75 in the men's under 20 pole vault competition. Getting the bell lap.
Sarah Amy Ryan.
She's done really well.
Gets the bell lap. One more lap of agony.
You might have heard that over the loudspeaker here at the stadium. One more lap of agony. A great competition shaping up for the men's under 18 long jump. Quinn Anders from Canterbury there. We'll wait to see when the board changes, but there's been a few young men jumping well and truly over 6 metres.
Always a nice benchmark for the domestic long jumpers, 6 metres. Eventually, you want to be out beyond 7 to compete as a senior nationally. And then, believe it or not, 8 metres to be any good internationally.
Just think about how far 8 metres actually is.
It's ridiculous. It's you and me lying toe-to-toe twice. And some, because we're not that tall.
No, I barely scratched the surface of 5'7" on a good day.
Yeah, wow. 8 metres is quite impressive. The long jumpers I find to be very impressive athletes. Very injury prone, the long jumpers, because of just the massive amount of force as they slap onto the ground and really drive that leg in to get as much height off the board as they can. Sarah Ann Rind, I believe, of Race Walking Auckland, coming out to finish. Been a tough day at the office for Sarah Ann Ryan. 10K on the track, 25 laps is a long way
so well done,
on
Sarah
any day,
Ryan,
but in these conditions, particularly tough.
Thanks to all the officials.
But she has done very well, and well done to the officials staying out there, counting the laps, and ensuring that the walkers maintain the correct technique. She doesn't look too fast. She looks like she could go a few more laps, Oscar.
Thank you.
Oh, I've got to take my hat off to these guys. It's sidewards rain and 25 laps.
Yeah.
She must have been out there for the better part of 50 minutes.
Yep. Now, look, Oscar, I know you love your running, and you're not bad. National champion over half marathon. Have you picked up any other national titles?
Couple of medals. And the seconds and thirds.
No one can take away that national title from that glorious day in Palmerston North. I remember it well.
I picked one up from Pulford and Christchurch, actually. But enough about me.
Go.
Anyway, shot put under 20.
Yeah, some results to hand. Kaya Tufu South, 13.47, winning the juniors from Jaden Bush, 13.16. And Tapanisa Havia, a name we've heard all weekend. The hurdler, the jumper, the thrower, Tapanisa Havia, the great all-rounder, 12.63, picking up another medal.
Massive result.
Massive. I'm I can only imagine she's a multi-eventer. Tafanisa Javier is a name you need to remember for the future. She is almost certainly capable of being an international level heptathlete. What I was going to ask Oscar, have you ever thought about the walks as an option?
I wouldn't want to offend any of the walkers tuning in. You've given me a double-edged knife here, but there is a photo of me at about 8 years old at QE2 giving a go. I guess what would have been maybe the 1K walk.
Yeah.
At that stage, my shins probably can't handle it. I mean the pressure from the knee down.
Yes.
Well, even the hip down.
The whole anterior of the lower leg ends up almost cramping up because you have to hold that toe up.
Yeah.
So much to get your roll through that you want. It is, people think, oh, you're walking. I do that all the time, easy. Well, speed walking is quite a different proposition, and I can tell you from experience, it is a tough event. You end up in some pretty extreme, cramping, painful type situations. Here's Allcamp. He's no race walker. He's a great multi-eventer. Over for Matthew Allcamp. We're going to swing around, hopefully see the display board, see what height he's at.
3.73, I think.
And so what they've done there is they have the display board towards the crowd. So 3.90, 390.
Oh, yep. So they've put that up.
Yeah, that's based on my dodgy eyesight. But yep, very good. And hello, here's Lisa Adams coming into the booth. Lisa, you're going to grab that microphone off Oscar. No, don't go away. Yes, come here. Lisa Adams in bare feet, newly minted world best holder in the T37 shot put. You put that up against your lip. You've just done a discus, Lisa. How did it go?
Yeah, it went okay.
Yeah, you've got to speak loudly. Come on, Lisa.
It went okay.
Good. Now, you've become, over the past year, an overnight sensation. You were on the news last night. Yep. And all over the sporting pages this morning after your world best performance in the shot put. You've had a day to reflect on 14.13. How are you feeling about it now?
Yeah, it's all good, eh?
Yep. Do you think there's a bit more in the tank there?
In terms of distance?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to think there is.
Yeah.
We're not targeting numbers in particular.
Yeah.
We're just...
Yep. Now tell us, between now and the World Para-Athletics Championships in Dubai, which are in November,
yes,
do you have any competitions lined up?
Yes, one more domestic comp in a couple of weeks.
Is that the Douglas Pharmaceuticals Track Classic in Auckland at Waitakere? Yep.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep. And then are you heading over to Aussie for Aussie Champs?
Yeah, hopefully Aussie Champs, and then the comp in Darwin, Oceanias, and that'll be us.
Cool. And look, you're basically about a year into this athletics malarkey now.
Yes.
How are you enjoying it?
It's cool. It's something I've learned to love.
Yep.
It's really challenging. It's hard. You know, it's the hardest sport I've ever done. Yeah, I've played team sports all my life. Going to an individual sport, it's pretty cool. You know, you got to be mentally onto it, physically onto it. You take responsibility for everything. You can't blame other people for anything. So it's really cool. You got to be motivated.
Yep.
Yeah.
And what about the people? Have you made a few friends within the sport? Do you get along with anyone here, or are they all a bunch of athletic weirdos?
No, you just learn to cheer everyone, and whether they're para or abled, you get meet everyone and go away on teams with people, and quite chummy.
Yep,
mates.
Fantastic. Do you are you into setting goals? Do you have kind of an idea of what you might want to achieve in the athletics game over the next couple of years, or is it too early to go down that road?
Me and my coach have set. We've talked about it. We've pretty much done a SWOT analysis, so it's kind of something we don't talk about because we've already sussed it. We know what we're trying to do, what we want to do, and we're just working now. We don't talk about it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. All good. Lisa Adams, thank you for joining us. The world's best F37 shot putter. Congratulations on a great weekend. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, Rough Diamond.
Cheers. Back to Oscar. Thank you, Lisa Adams, for joining us. impromptu interview. She's probably going to try and want to smash me later on, but I think I can take her in a fight anyway. Oh, she wants to hug me. That's okay. That's good. One time I called Lisa Adams a rough diamond, and she still holds it against me. Thanks, Lisa.
Huge result for Lisa. Totally humble as well.
Yeah, she is a fantastic human being. Anthony Nobilo into the hammer throw circle, the up-and-coming Anthony Nobilo, one of the best hammer exponents in New Zealand, hoping to pick up national title number 1 out over 50 metres. Anthony Nobilo. His best is 58.99, so he's the class of the field. Almost 9 metres better than his closest rival, Todd Bates of Otago. The hammer throw brought to you by Mitre 10 Mega. Pole vaulter, the Aucklander, not clear at 390. That would be Anthony Barnes. Anthony Barnes, interestingly, won the junior men's hammer, coached by Didier Pope. Now he's out here doing the pole vault. So that's a strange combination for Anthony Barnes. He's attempting his PB at 390. And here's the distance. Swing it round, young lady. Here we go. 54.49 for Anthony Nobilo from Auckland. Very good throwing in these conditions. Here's Bates, 25 years old from Otago. Bates, coached by Bates. I don't know if he's a relation at all, but part of the famous Raylene Bates throwing squad that operates out of Dunedin. What do you think of that beard, Oscar? Any comment on that? You better not say anything too defamatory.
Yeah, can't really.
Yeah, distance runners don't make a habit of insulting throwers.
Yeah, no, it's probably not advantageous to walking out of the stadium with 2 legs.
Yeah. Here he goes, winding up. One of the most dynamic events in the sport. Oh, dangerous stuff with that slippery surface. Out around 50. Yeah. Bates's PB is 50.00, and he looks pretty happy with that. Goodness knows how you throw a PB in these conditions, but we'll wait and see what they say. Here's some results. The women's para shot puts. Third place, Caitlin Dorr, the Paralympian, with a best of 20.60. Second place, Lisa Adams, 25.88. Not too bad. Taking the win, Taylor Clement out of Auckland, 22.54. Very good throwing. Amy Dunn in 4th. Charlotte Buchanan from Auckland in 5th. Congratulations to all of those competitors, but especially Taylor Clement, having a fantastic weekend, claiming a world best in the women's shot put in her classification, T43, 48.53 for Bates.
A metre and a half of his PB in these conditions is not bad.
Yeah, exactly.
That shiny concrete has to be fairly slippery out there.
I know. I kind of, I would love to go over and just run my foot across it, because it just seems like it would be a very slick surface, because it's designed to be completely smooth, so in dry conditions your shoes grip to it really well. And then in wet conditions, it's just a disaster.
Need some of that special hand spray the All Blacks have got.
Yep, exactly. Pole vault moves up to 4 metres for the junior men's. We've got Matthew Orkamp still in the competition. And we're unsure if Anthony Barnes managed to clear 390. We'll try our best to keep an eye on it and keep you updated. But we do believe the local competitors, Neighbours and Edward Singh, have both ducked out, as well as Hewitt. You're joining us here at the Jennian Homes New Zealand Track and Field Championships. And here's what we've got today. We've had the 10K track walk. Great to bring you the closing laps of that event. Steeplechase, under 18 men and women, pole vault, hammer, 1500s, and much, much more. We hope you'll stay with us. Do we have a break scheduled today, producers? So after the People's Mile, we've got a short break scheduled, and other than that, we plan to be with you all day here in Puna, Christchurch. Highlights, of course, are likely to be that long jump for senior men's and those 1,500 metres.
Yeah,
Oscar.
cracking races.
Cracking races for both the men and women.
Oh,
sometimes you'll get a good race on the women's side and on the men's. And how wrong was I? Because here's Edward Singh, the 18-year-old, who's had a 10-centimetre PB in the worst conditions ever and is now attempting 4 metres for the first time.
It looks like he's carrying a little niggle on the left leg there with some kinesio tape propping up his post-tip.
If anyone knows and wants to flick Oscar or I a message, let us know who coaches Edward Hissing, because they've clearly done some great work bringing him to form just on the right day and in tough conditions. He's guaranteed a medal here, but if he can get over 4, he's going to be fighting for gold. That didn't look comfortable. Pole vaults, undoubtedly the most dangerous of all sports. There's 109 in the junior men's in the hammer, which is Anthony Barnes has left the pole vault and has come to compete in the senior men's hammer competition.
What a double.
After winning the junior hammer.
Give him a gold medal.
And then he's probably secured a medal, I think, in the junior pole vault. And now he's just nipped over the grass.
Changed his shoes.
Changed his shoes, put on his glove, and he's throwing in the senior men's hammer. And are you not entertained, ladies and gentlemen? Anthony Barnes, coached by Didier Pope for the throws. Don't know who coaches him in the pole vault, but he's a bloody legend in my eyes. Here he goes, winding up. Big Barnes. Out. Beyond 40 metres. Between 40 and 50, that's all the information I can give you. Let's see what the measuring board says.
He might have thrown a PB if he's... it's looking like he's had a season's best of 43, so he might have gone clear of that.
I don't condone that moustache he's got. But other than that, Anthony Barnes is my...
He's a hero. He's a cult hero.
He's a hero. He's my favourite athlete of the meet so far, Anthony Barnes. Someone go buy that man a coffee.
What an outrageous double. It's made my day.
He's not even, he can't, it's not even an aid of being a multi-eventer because the hammer throw isn't an event in the decathlon.
No, I'm wondering how he got across from the pole vault so quick. Someone signed him up for the 100.
Yeah. He probably jumped over a couple of steeplechase barriers. Here we go.
He's thrown a season's best.
43.79, Anthony Barnes. In line for a medal in the senior men's hammer
throw. Here he goes.
Throw.
He's back to the pole vault.
You're kidding me. No. Is he? No, he's going over to talk to his coach, Didier Pope. High five for mum or dad. Here's Matthew Orkamp. He is a decathlete. He's your national junior decathlon champion. Coached by Brent Booker from the Pakuranga Club. Over 4 metres.
Cleared 4 metres.
Oh, it's exciting stuff. Hey, where's Hayden Sherman?
I think he's deserted us. He's decided that our talk is that rubbish that he's...
I was planning to not do that much commentary today. I've got people to talk to. I want to talk to this young man from Hawke's Bay. On the track, we've got some athletes lining up for the start of the under-18 women's steeplechase. 6:41, that's a long jump performance.
So in that women's under-18 2,000 metre steeplechase, Emily Hay, Monica Costa, Ashley Alabaster, Samantha Corbett and Georgia Rose Dawson.
Samantha Corbett taking an early lead. The Waikato Bay Plenty athletes not afraid to take the pace, leading from Ashley Alabaster of Manawatu Wanganui. And thank you to A New World. Here comes Anthony Nobilo into the hammer throw circle, your competition leader, with the best today of 54 metres. We've got the hammer out again.
It's out over 50.
It is. Anthony Nobilo is a small man. He's only about your height, Oscar. I'd say 5'7", 5'8". Does a lot of work in the gym, very fast, very dynamic, but a very smart technician, well coached by Mike Schofield out of the North Harbour Bays Club.
I think on the board now, that was one of the under-18 Canterbury long jumpers. As the girls come into the home straight for the end of lap 1.
Yep, and they've cleared out Corbett from Waikato Bay Plenty and Alabaster from Manawatu Wanganui. Hasing! Second attempt unsuccessful at 4 metres.
Emily Hay from Southland running in third.
Fantastic to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 athletes out in this under-18 women's steeplechase. Steeplechase and events where we have some form with the ladies. Kate McElroy picking up 4th place, I believe, at the Commonwealth Games in 2006 before moving on to become a Olympic triathlete and then a professional cyclist. Here's Batesy, Big Bates, the ginger from Otago. 2, 3, 4, and away. Tracks it out close to 50 metres. Bates is having a blinder. These hammer throwers are not bothered by these tough conditions.
Real men.
You could say that. Yeah. I'd like to say real men wear spandex and run 30k in the rain, but many would disagree.
We'd wear spandex, run 30k in the rain and complain about it.
That's true. We would complain the whole way. That is a fair statement. And look, some interesting hurdling technique from Samantha Corbett, who swings out into lane 2 for no good reason to clear that steeplechase barrier. I wish they would move that supporting arm closer to the edge of the track. Look at this charging in. No, that's a foul. They're going to put up a red flag there. The athlete from Auckland was absolutely flying. Ruth Leong says, no, you put your toe in the plasticine. We've got Terry Lomax, who's going to come and join us in the commentary booth now. Terry Lomax, 2-time Commonwealth Games representative for New Zealand and performance coach. No, you're staying, Oscar, and I'm going. Terry, we've got a fantastic pole vault competition, and the highlight of the day has been Anthony Barnes doing pretty well. I think he might have been 3rd or 4th in that pole vault, and then switching to the senior men's hammer throw. Yep.
3rd in the pole vault.
Wow. Here he is, Anthony Barnes, and here comes Terry Lomax into the commentary booth. I'm Hamish Meacham signing off. I hope you guys stay with us for the rest of the day. It's going to be some exciting coverage from Puna, the Jennian Homes New Zealand Track and Field Championships.
We'll find out where Hayden got to. He's obviously having a late lunch. Terry, how you doing?
Good, thanks. How are you after your 5,000 the other day?
Oh, slightly disappointed, but hey, you got to take the good with the bad and the bad with the good sometimes.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So we've got some exciting competitions going on at the moment. The men's under-20 pole vault happening. The men's under-18 long jump with some seriously great jumps going on. There's a fantastic competition happening there as well. Talk us through this pole vault and these conditions. What are the athletes going through?
Well, the first thing they do is, because it's wet, their opening heights, they started lower than they normally would. And they've got to try and make sure that they're as uncomplicated as possible, because the sweet spot on a rainy day is a lot smaller than it is on a dry day.
Yeah.
And so they've just got to try and make sure they keep the pole dry. That's probably the number one priority.
Oh, and he's come very close.
Edward Singh, who had a bit more than the 20 minutes preparation that he had at the senior men's yesterday, where he did a PB. And so Edward's an example of someone who has an uncomplicated technique, short run up, short pole. It's a bit easier for him.
Absolutely. And it looks as though he's well and truly cleared a season's best this weekend.
Yes, yeah. Our personal best yesterday in the senior men's at 3:85.
Massive result. We're looking here at the under-18 women's steeplechase. Right now, the competitor from, I think it's the Waikato Bay of Plenty, Samantha Corbett, seems to be running away with this one. We'll try and get eyes on. I think she's got one lap to go.
Samantha Corbett,
What are you after, Terry?
Gets the bell. This 2,000 metre steeplechase, closely followed by Ashley Alabaster.
That is the bell lap for the women's under-18 steeplechase. The Waikato Bay of Plenty athlete Samantha has run away. She's got roughly 45 metres on the next competitor from Manawatu Wanganui, I believe, to be Alicia.
Yep. So as Anthony Novelo's just thrown that hammer. He's currently leading the competition, and he'd be the favourite to take that one out. Again, hammer throws are another event that's affected by wet weather, not the holding of the hammer, but that circle.
A huge jump there. We'll look for the white flag to make sure he... Oh, it looks he was a bit disgusted there. It looks like the red flag is up. 58.04, so...
I think that'll extend his lead.
Yeah, Novelo extends his lead and is throwing very close to season's best.
Which is quite impressive in these conditions.
And we've got Samantha Corbett here coming in with 50 metres left to run in her under-20 women's 2,000 metre steeplechase. Fantastic run from Samantha.
From Waikato Bay of Plenty.
And in second place
Ashley Alabaster, Manawatu Wanganui.
from Manawatu Wanganui, Ashley Alabaster, another fantastic run. That last water jump did not look easy for these young ladies.
So I think we've only got one competitor left in the pole vault now, and that's Matthew Hallcamp.
Matthew Hallcamp out of Auckland is the last under-20 men's pole vault competitor looking to extend that lead.
That was Todd Bates from Otago.
Todd Bates out of Otago. We've dubbed him the best facial here for the weekend.
Yep. And Matthew, not quite enough oomph in that one. Again, very difficult conditions for a pole vaulter. As I said, main concern trying to keep the pole dry.
Just missed that number there. Another fantastic jump. Will it get a white flag?
Todd Bates, 51.56.
That was Sam Collier from Southland.
Some debate going on there by the officials, and a red flag, unfortunately, for the Southland athlete.
And 51.56 for Todd Bates in the hammer then.
So these men are throwing further and further each round.
Tends to be what happens in the hammer. A bit of silly statement considering the temperature out there, but they tend to get warmer and warmer as the competition goes, and it's not unusual for hammer throwers to just get better as the competition goes, as they get into the routine and get into the rhythm of the event.
So for those of us that spend our time running around the tartan, talk us through the technique for the hammer throw. She looks impressive.
What is? I mean, they have to have very good footwork. I mean, they're holding on to an orb that's 7.26 kgs off the end of a piece of wire, and they've got to spin around on the edge of their feet, or the ball of their feet to negotiate around the circle. They'll tend to do 3 turns. Most hammer throwers will do 3 turns. So the world record holder Yuri Sedek did 4, but most of them will do 3 turns to build up the momentum with the hammer. Try and get speed of the hammerhead going to try and get as maximal a speed of release of the implement as possible, which is the key to all throwing. Launch it into orbit. Yep.
Certainly impressive to watch.
It is.
Big, powerful athletes.
Yep. It's also very good for your golf. I used to do a bit of hammer throwing.
The important things in life.
And it did. I certainly drove the ball a lot further when I was throwing hammer than when I didn't.
So I believe now we're looking at the lineup for the men. Oh, that's throwing me because that's men, not women. Yeah. The men under 18 1500 metre race. I'll let you call it, Terry.
That's the field for the men's 18 1500 metre final.
So we're looking at I don't think we're looking at the under 20 race. We're definitely looking at the under 18 race, and I'll call us through that. Jude Darby, Will Anthony, Alex Chifitz, Andreas Hernandez, Ben Biodus, Lamback, Zach Bellamy, William Scuppoff, McCullum Rowe, Andre Lee Pine Day, Mason Waterworth, and Ethan
Smallage.
We've tried.
How's that?
I apologise.
The conditions are difficult, but you try saying some of these names.
I didn't get through to year 13 English. I was too busy running laps to the park.
Yeah.
Another massive jump there by the Auckland, and the men's under 18 1500 metre race is underway. They will have a slight headwind down the back straight where the southerly is blowing, which means tailwind coming in to finish.
And I think the runner to watch here is Liam Beck, the tall Manawatu Wanganui boy, who won 3 titles last year. Has had a late start to the season. He had injury right through till January, I think it was. Is coached by Alec McNabb, who everybody in athletics knows
a thing or two about running,
and seems to be able to find and produce talented young middle distance runners. I think Matthew Orkamp there, a wee glimpse of him missing his pole vault.
So it's the Wellington athlete, Will Anthony, who's willingly taken this one on, followed by the Manawatu athlete in second.
Mason Waterworth.
Sub 60 first 300. First 400. So they have not let the weather conditions deter them away from running fast times here this morning down at Napunawai.
Well, I imagine tactically that the boy who's leading understands the kick that Liam Beck has. He's a 154 800 metre runner, so they know he's got speed.
Try and run it out of his legs.
That's probably the only way, especially the way he ran last night.
It looks as though Jude Darby there from Auckland closing the gap, and on him the other Waikato athlete, 6:39, which is Ben Bidius, make our top 4.
Ben Bidwar from Waikato Bay of Plenty's up there.
They're sponsored, of course, by the Muscle People Physiotherapy. We thank them for getting in behind athletics this weekend. Really is those 4 who have created a little bit of a gap there back to the main bunch. Interesting to see if that first hot lap does close this field up, or if these 2 boys at the front who seem to have just gapped away from the Auckland runner are going to suffer for that early 400 metres.
Well, yes.
Terry, what's your thoughts?
Well, they're certainly moving faster than I ever did in the Decathlon 1500.
You did yours at the end of it.
But that's right. I'd had 9 events beforehand. Yeah. These boys have probably only had 3 or 4 races this weekend, though. Intensity they run, it would still take something out of them.
Still, Will Anthony from Wellington really taking it to
Liam
Beck.
The boy.
Can he run the speed out of Liam Beck's legs? Strength versus speed. I know what that feels like. The young man in front going about his work. They come through. They're going to get the bell.
I think you'll find Liam Beck will start kicking off from here.
Just opens up the shoulders, lifts the head, and looks like he's about to kick on, and he really does. Well, cool, Terry. You've watched some athletics in your time.
Yeah, he's a lovely runner. He just moves so freely, so smoothly, and he's got those nice long limbs. Technically, he's a nice runner as well, and mechanics will always win out under pressure.
Especially over our last 400.
Yep. So he's a very, very promising boy, and it's quite exciting to see a talent like this.
We've got some amazing talent coming through in the men and the women in middle distance at the moment.
Yep. Well, we always have had quality athletes come through, and the key thing, of course, is them emerging from being top underage athletes into becoming top senior athletes. And this boy definitely has something.
Liam Beck comes through with 80 metres to go at around 3:47. Sometimes definitely the time is redundant today in the conditions. He's run a fantastically technical race using the strengths that he was given. And a real fight coming here for second place. Our early leader
holds on just.
Will Anthony holds on. He's had a fantastic run. Looking around maybe 4:07 there for second.
Yep. So he got the reward for the hard work he did early on in the race. He was prepared to have a go, which is always good to see.
Big result for that young man on screen there. the first of some very exciting 1500-metre races today.
Yes, and I think despite the rain and a wee bit of wind, it's not bad conditions. And I think Matthew Orkamp was attempting 4 metres 20. That's where he's at. They must have 1 or 2 more attempts left at that height. He's obviously won the competition. So Matthew's the national under-20 decathlon champion. So a very versatile athlete, obviously.
So,
Povot's one of his stronger events.
So at 4:20, is that looking like a season's best if he clears this?
Yes, 4:16 he did last weekend was a personal best. So in these conditions, it's worth even more than that. So if he can get this, it would be an outstanding performance.
So that's the conclusion of the men under 18 long jump.
A bit too much.
Very fine final jump by
But considering it took him 3 attempts to get his opening height, to come back and win it is a fine achievement.
Fantastic event there in the men's under 20 pole vault going on.
Stephen Thorpe, 6.50.
Back at the hammer throw, and that has been launched.
Must be Anthony Nobilo again, I imagine, given the distance.
Peppering that 55 to 60 metre mark.
Can you please come down to the medals tent? Thank you. Caitlin Dorr.
And lining up is the field for the under 18 women 1500 metre final. Brianna Lee from Hawke's
So we're looking
Bay.
here at the start of the women's under 18 1500 metre final. Here down at the Jennian Holmes New Zealand Track and Field Championships in Christchurch for 2019. Event sponsored by Muscle People Physiotherapy. Terry, I'll let you call the start list for this one. I'll throw you in the deep end because I totally mucked the last one.
See if I can do better. So we've got Brianna Lee from Hawke's Bay, Gisborne, Martina Connor from Canterbury, Isabella Richardson, Auckland, Neve Mulai from Canterbury, Kimberly May from Auckland, Marley, Kyle Ford of Wellington, Tilly Hollier from Canterbury, Esther Kosniak from Wellington, Chloe Brown, Auckland, Lucy Harmon, Tasman, Lily Elvendale, Canterbury, Bella Brown, Auckland, and Layla Dunlop, Canterbury. I think I had the easier job there.
You definitely did. I stitched myself up well and truly. Another exciting race here, and you could throw a blanket over most of them.
Yes, there's not a lot separating most of the times, with Tilly Hollier having the season's best performance at 4:27, but there's a bunch of athletes in the 4:40 to 4:50 range who I'm sure will be looking to improve their performance as their season's best.
They'll be spurred on by a fantastic senior women's 800 metre race last night between Angie and Kat.
Yeah. It's been one of the contests of the season, I think, the battle between those two girls.
And great for them both to have some competition there to drive them towards that World Champs qualifier for later in the year and on to Tokyo.
Right. I mean, they'll be looking to do probably Australian Champs, and then I know that both of them are looking at doing the Oceania Champs, and that could be a big decider in terms of qualifying for the World Champs.
We wait now in the hands of the starter for the women's under 18 1500 metre final. Girls trying to stay warm on the start line.
Yep.
We are seeing a little bit of a break in the cloud, perhaps some blue sky trying to come through, or it could just be the large halogen lights.
Yeah, blue sky would only be threatening. That's about all I think today. I know what it's like standing at the start of a 1500 metres for a decathlon. There's total dread, but for a proper 1500 metre runner, what are they thinking about as they stand there?
I'm no proper 1500 metre runner, Terry, but
but more than me.
Needs to be about 25 more times around the track to get me going. But I think the key bit is you've gone through your processes through the week. You've thought about some sort of game plan. You've got a couple of insurance policies. And you're looking at what everyone else can do and what you can do and worrying about running your best race. Getting out cleanly, not getting tripped, and then really turning that race into something special for yourself. The girls are away cleanly, no mishaps thus far as they come through to their first back straight. They're running as one big bunch, the two Auckland athletes.
And in third place in this event,
Isabella Richardson leading now, looking super smooth, long, loafy stride. You need one of those when you're definitely our height.
Yeah, yeah.
To compete. The Wellington athlete.
Second place from
Esther.
Waikato Bay with a
Esther
throw of
Kosniak.
25.88
Yeah, so-
metres. It's Lisa Adams. And a gold medalist in the women's discus throw power open from Auckland with a throw of 22.
Make a bit of a push there at the end of the first lap, the two leaders, trying to string the field out a wee bit.
Yeah, just trying to break it away. It'll be hard to come back. A little bit of daylight between the two groups in these conditions as we see the medal presentation happening for the Tara Discus. 69 seconds for the first lap for these young ladies, young women I should say, sorry.
And so the two leaders there pushing the pace a bit. Tilly Hollier, who's probably the favourite based on a season performance, is back there in third place. So they've made a bit of a gap on her. It'll be interesting to see how she can respond, whether she feels she's got to push up to their pace or whether she's running the race that she wants to run.
And it looks as though she's got some lap times dialed in, and she's just starting to pull them back slightly as I look over our shoulders towards the edge of the track, with coming through with 900 metres left to run.
And our set-down medal presentation today.
She will probably close that gap. She'll have some indication of how fast she thinks she can run those first 3 laps.
Presenting the medal to our winner in this competition.
She is sucking along the second of the Wellingtonian athletes. And it looks as though those four are about to become a bunch.
Our winner is Shannon Murphy.
Isabella Richardson looking nice and comfortable, nice flying running stride that she has there.
Long lopey levers.
Yeah, man, she's nice and light on the track as well, so all helps.
Our Canterbury athlete
our winner in the women's discus throw.
Tilly Hoyler has made up some ground as she looks to get on the back of Esther.
Round 5,
turning into one hell of a race.
So in a decathlon, we always talk about the third lap being the vital one.
Yep.
The same for a proper 1500 metre runner.
Oh, I'd say so. I guess you don't want to burn the match early.
Yep.
And you don't want to be too far back because you don't want to trust the kick too much. You don't even know what's going to happen with 300 metres to go. So I think it's a really smart race here from the Canterbury girl. And we'll see what happens over the last 500
and in the women's 18, 15,
as they look to ramp things up.
Always hard to lead a race from start to finish, and I think that might be what we see here, the difficulty of that role.
They're the three who've broken away.
Tilly Hollier from Canterbury now moving up alongside Isabella Richardson from Auckland as they come through to get the bell lap. Certainly an interesting last lap about to happen.
It will be.
Who's got the power and the pace? Three girls are sticking together. Isabella is not letting her go. There's a little bit of push and shove starting to happen. As Tilly is pushed into lane 2, and here she goes. She's into her stride. Nice forward body lean. And she does fight that headwind, and she has really dropped the hammer now, streaking away from the Auckland athlete.
I think that's the move that's defined the race now.
Decisive. Phil Costley always used to say to me, when you make the move, and don't look back and hope no one comes.
Yeah, that's right.
200 metres left to run, and that gap is definitely opening up. A fantastic race unfolding in front of us.
Well judged race. She obviously knew, like you said, she had a plan and she's followed that right through. And
the coach will be happy.
Coach will be very happy. Nothing worse than an athlete not following the coach's plan.
100 metres here to run.
A fine finish to Tilly Hollier from Canterbury.
She's had an absolutely stellar last 300 metres.
Women's 18, 1500
Still looking strong. Someone sign her up for the steeple.
Will run into second. And Richardson, who made
massive result there for Tilly Hollier, and it looks in around 4 minutes and 31, but similar to the men's race, the time is almost redundant today in these championship racing and the weather conditions.
Yeah, it's all about getting medals, and especially an event like the 1500. Not too often you see a fast-paced race in a championship event.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got to take your head off to the Auckland athlete. Isabella Richardson really giving it a good go.
Yeah, and I think she's pretty young. So obviously a good future there.
Yeah, 16 years old.
Yeah, well, they're all young, I suppose.
Yeah, 16 to 17.
Look at that.
Younger than us.
They all look 12 to me.
Another great race on the track. This afternoon, this morning. What time is it?
No, it's still morning.
Still morning. Evidently, I haven't had enough coffee.
Yeah, so it looks like the pole vault has finished, so Matthew Orkamp taking that one out. I think we're still going in the hammer.
Yeah, it looks as though the hammer is still happening. We must be pretty close. The officials are still standing in the net, so...
Now are the medalists in the women's shot put under 20. This event was sponsored by Mitre 10 Mega, and we have the delight of having our presenter Valerie Adams, who is the current record holder in this event, presenting the medals today.
So a bit of a quiet time at the moment. I think the men's 20, 1500 is coming up soon. We've got the discus throwers warming up. I think that's under 18 discus warming up while we wait for the hammer to finish off.
I think it's the under 18 shot put medal ceremony happening now. Valerie Adams giving out those medals to the young woman.
Our silver medalist comes from Canterbury with a throw of 13 metres 16. It's Jaden Bush.
The two Canterbury girls are training partners this season. They've been pushing each other to further and further distances. But
throw of 13 metres 47 is Kaya Tupu South.
Kaya Tupu South prevailing on the day. So I think that was Todd Bates in the circle.
Congratulations.
Peppering around that 50-metre mark.
Under 20.
Probably in second place, I would imagine, at the moment.
I believe next on the track may well be the men's under 18 2,000 metre steeplechase, with the four young men in the race warming up behind me, doing their final stride outs. You can read that list out, Terry.
Yeah.
51.10.
You certainly get a cross-section of names in the sport. So I've got Maximilian Janzik from Canterbury, Ocean Falloon Cavender from Canterbury, Luke Weston of Taranaki, and George Lambert from Manawatu Wanganui.
So certainly some of these athletes will be enjoying the summer season. More than likely, some of these steeplechasers will be fantastic cross-country runners as well.
Yep. Steeplechase is certainly an opportunity event that I think is underscored by athletes and coaches, the possibilities of success even at an international level in the steeplechase. I know we have a great tradition of 1500 metre runners, but I'm sure we have some young 1500 metre runners who could be very good steeplechasers.
4 starters in the men's 18 2,000 metre steeples.
That looks like maybe the end of the hammer throwing, Terry.
Yeah, I think
the
so.
Athletes are congratulating each other.
So I think pretty sure Anthony Novolo will have taken that event out, especially after that 58 metre throw in round 4. Todd Bates likely second. Third, though, we're not quite sure.
No.
Yeah, that was Anthony Novolo there with his last round throw, but he'd already won it, so it takes the pressure off.
Obviously, with lots going on, we can't always get the distances of these throwing events down on paper, but we do our best. And if they swivel things...
We got out to 58.43 on that one, and I think that's his best throw of the competition that we're aware of. So in these conditions, that's not too bad.
Getting close to that season's best of 58.99.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, of course, a win.
It's all about the W.
Exactly.
4 men in this under 18 2,000 metre steeplechase race as the officials get them sorted out on the start line. Of course, the 2,000 metre race starts a little bit back from the start finish as we accommodate the water jump.
So we have an inside water jump, which becomes it's now more and more common. Used to be on the outside of the track, and of course that affects where you start from.
Yep. Conservative start from these 4 young men. I think they're realising conditions today are not the best for fast running. And saying that, I eat my words. And the young fella from Manawatu has just dropped the gauntlet. George Lambert taking an early lead.
Yeah, so unfortunately 4 athletes in the race. One of them is going to miss out on a medal. But of course that's the battle to see who can avoid 4th place.
you know much about hurdles, Terry?
Oh, I've done the odd bit.
So
Funnily enough,
talk us through some
the steeplechase is the one technical event I never did.
Has a handy lead and
I don't think my hips make the barrier, so it's not something I've ever tried.
Yeah.
they're the first two.
I wasn't much of a swimmer, so the idea of a water jump wasn't really too desirable.
Now it is the Manawatu Wanganui athlete of George Lambert and from Taranaki, Luke Weston, who have formed a 1-2 partnership as they come through for the end of lap 1. The two Canterbury athletes working hard together to try and stay in touch, and a fantastic middle distance program happening here out of Canterbury at the moment, Terry. The likes of Maria Hassan and Matt Ingram.
Yeah, well, we've got some good numbers, despite the fact that we've, as happens in most places, we ship a few out to the States on scholarships, but we've got young athletes coming through, and obviously the attraction of a new track has been one of the things that's probably held a few more athletes in the sport than would normally be the case. And as you know, a lot of it's about numbers, especially when you're talking about middle distance and distance. You've got to have training groups, you've got to have numbers in those to encourage them, and I think that's happening pretty well.
Absolutely, and I forgot to mention there Graham too, who coached out of Christ College, who does a fantastic job at keeping young men and young women in the sport, creating a great culture there. As they come through to the second time in the water jump, we'll watch how the technique starts to unfold as the boys get tired. I wish I had legs like that, Terry.
Yeah, I have. I just don't have lungs like that. That's the problem. So it'd be interesting here to see how well they've paced themselves, because that's another part of it for the steeplechase. As you say, it's quite fatiguing with all these hurdles in there, and it takes a lot out of your legs. If you push too hard too soon, sometimes you can pay a cost.
They're through for the end of lap 2 at around 2:30, so they're still going around at 75s, which is not a bad effort given the jumps out on track. It looks like the Canterbury athlete. Maximilian is making up. He has made up some distance there.
Yeah.
And we're now looking at a group of 3.
As you're saying, it's a matter of pacing yourself or finding the right pace. And as you said, in the 1500, you go in with a plan, and it's only at the end of the race you find out whether your plan worked, not in the middle of it.
John Quinn, the sports psych, always said you want a couple of insurance policies, because it's when you write the car off totally is when you want it, not necessarily when you ding the back light.
Yep.
So these guys will have gone through what they thought they could achieve, and they'll try and push those limits over that last lap, as you just said.
Yep. And so with any hurdling in there, it's about trying to minimise the energy expenditure in the hurdles. And if you're landing heavily, then it's taking something out of your legs. And so you'll find that the more efficient hurdlers are the ones that come on strong at the end of the race.
The grimace on the face of the Manawatu, of the Taranaki athlete, sorry, Luke Weston, as he hits that final hurdle coming into lap 4.
Still a close contest among the 3.
And it really is those 3 now, as Ocean doing his best to hang in there. Tough when you get disconnected in these types of conditions.
Well, that's right, and you can see here that George Lambert's put the pressure on again. I think he's responded to the fact that there's now 3 of them in the bunch, and he realises he's got to up things a wee bit, because Maximilian has, he's bridged that gap, and he's looking quite strong as he puts pressure on the boy from Taranaki.
He looks super relaxed and comfortable. Must be hard to keep continuing to get that power to get up over those steeples, as the lungs are burning. There's not much oxygen heading down there.
Yep. And that's where the hurdling can often be the difference. How they come out of it.
Opting for a wide berth as he makes a little bit of a move here, just to take on and stretch, see who's willing and who's able, who's got something left as we head into the last lap.
Luke Weston's responded to that, and now we've got George Lambert realising that the pressure's coming on.
So Janzik from Canterbury is making a determined bid for the lead as they get the bell. The Taranaki man is tracking him.
On paper, Luke Weston certainly has the season's best, but the Canterbury athlete taking it to him now. 350 metres left to run. It'll be an interesting battle to see who has the most energy to get over the last water jump.
Yes, and I think, as you could tell when they come off the hurdle, the one that's got the speed as they come off the hurdle, it makes such a difference. you gain that extra half a yard off the hurdle, it can mount up.
This is better than cross country, Terry.
Wouldn't know. Didn't do too much of that.
I was a mud bath last year.
Oh, that's true cross country. That's great.
It's proper cross country.
The good thing with both these boys is that they're attacking the hurdles. They're making sure that they've got momentum going into the hurdle, and that's going to be vitally important at this next one.
So we'll look to see who can accelerate out of here. And a fall by the Canterbury athlete. They're super unfortunate. Can he pick himself up?
No, I think that might be it for him. The other boys seen the opportunity. As I said, that was the one that was going to define it, and it looks like it has. But we've still got one to go.
Sprinting down the straight, and he looks like he'll take out this men's 18 steeple.
Fantastic run there by Luke Weston out of Taranaki, finishing around 6 minutes and 27 seconds. Phenomenal run from that young man. Finishing in second, Maximilian Janzik from Canterbury. And in third, George Lambert, Manawatu Wanganui. And our fourth athlete in the race, Ocean from Canterbury, over the last steeple.
It was a very good race there. We had 3 leaders, different times, and as we were talking about, the hurdling can define it, and that's what it came down to in the end. I probably would have had my money on the Canterbury boy going into that water jump the way he was looking, but as I said, it's a technical event. If your technique falls down, so do you, as happened in this case.
Evidently. Great racing from these young men, and good to see 4 of them in the race.
Yeah, we've struggled with Steeplechase getting the numbers, but we're slowly growing. But it is a very challenging event. It's a lot easier to just go left, right, but without it going left, right, and going over hurdles as well. It makes it a lot more difficult.
And as we look towards the discus, and we'll get I'm getting almost some final thoughts from Terry as he's got to nip away shortly. Yeah, so we'll get some thoughts on what he's thinking is going to unfold in the men's discus under 18 and the rest of the throwing and jumping events. Terry, what are your thoughts?
Well, it's going to be testing for them again because it's going to be a wet circle, but also looking after the discus becomes important as well, because if the discus is wet, it's a very hard implement to throw. So the athletes will be conscious of making sure that the discus is as dry as possible, that they trust their technique and their processes in the wet. I mean, the shoes are designed for dry and wet conditions, and they've got to throw confidently and not try and be too safe, because safety doesn't get you anywhere when you're trying to perform.
Doesn't get you a medal.
No, that's right.
Up on the screen now, we're just looking at some of the results for the men's under 18 1500 metre race, with Liam Beck taking that one out in 3:59.36, which is a phenomenal run given the championship and weather conditions out there now. Beating Will Anthony by nearly 7 seconds in 4 minutes 6 seconds 72, and Jude Darby 4 minutes 6 seconds and 82. A close fought battle for the minor medals in that men's under 18 1500 metre race.
Yeah, so we've got some good senior competition, I know, in the field coming up today. We've got the senior women's triple jump, which is the one I've got to zip away to do a wee bit of my other job, which is coaching, and also the senior men's long jump, which will be quite an interesting contest as well.
Who are your top picks for those events?
Well, the current leader in the women's triple is Anna Thompson in terms of domestic performances, but we've got Greer Alsop, who's come back from a completed scholarship in the States, who's actually done 1581, but that was way back in May, and she's had a big break and has just started training again. So Anna Thompson's probably the clear favourite on that one, but it'll be interesting to see how Greer goes after a month of training and one competition. The senior men's long jump, Jordan Peters would be the favourite at the moment, having done the best jump of the season, just over 7:30. But Matt Wyatt, who's won this title a number of times before, will be a strong contender, as will Felix McDonald, who was the #1 ranked last year. So that could be a bit of a ding-dong battle as well.
Certainly looking forward to some fantastic field events in trying conditions here in Christchurch for the Jennian Holmes Athletics New Zealand 2019 Championships down here at Napunawai on a classic Christchurch autumn day.
Yes, you can't do anything about the weather. It's the one thing you have no control over, but we certainly have an outstanding facility here.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been a long time coming, but now that it's here, the whole of the athletic community in Canterbury, and I know New Zealand, now that they've had a chance to experience it, will appreciate the quality we've got.
Yeah, and I think too, for athletics to be strong in a country, you need your main centres to be strong, and obviously Canterbury has always been one of those strong main centres, so to have somewhere where we can actually meet and have a place.
Yeah, that's right. And I mean, one competition venue has always been the case in Canterbury, and that's what draws people to the sport as athletes.
Absolutely. So we just, up on screen there was the final results for the women's under-18 1500 metre race, with Tilly Hollier streaking away in the last 300 metres to win that one in 4 minutes 35 and 49. 4 seconds in front of Esther, who ran 4 minutes 39.05. Some great racing there from those young women in their 1500 metre race.
I think we're seeing the men's 18 discus throwers warming up at the moment, preparing for their contest. Quite a large field there, 13 athletes, which is great to see. And despite the conditions, I'm sure we'll see some outstanding throwing going on.
Some standout performers from this year. Nicholas Kinney throwing 58 metres. I don't know much about discus, but that seems pretty far. That's half a rugby field.
It's a fair distance, and he's a promising athlete, Nicholas.
And Zion Trigger Fatali throwing 51.05, so it should be a pretty good competition between those two athletes.
Yeah, Zion probably being coached by Shaka Sola, who's a prominent throws coach from Wellington. He's got a great setup up there at his solar power centre that he has in Lower Hutt, and he produces quite a few athletes, and Zion will be one of his, I'm sure.
Looks as though over at the 200 metre start, some of those young ladies are starting to warm up for their 200 metre races, which are going to be happening in roughly sort of 4 minutes, as we presume we're looking at round 1, or the warm-up throws.
Oh.
Could be round 1.
No,
right?
round one,
yeah. And we're away in round 1.
Over the far side are the finalists in the women's 20, 200 metres.
Jordan Haitaraka from Northland, I think that was throwing. Yes, it was. The final result in the men's 20 pole vault, Matthew Orcombe, as we previously said, winner at 4 metres. Edward Singh with a personal best there of 390, building on his PB from 385 yesterday, and second, and Anthony Barnes next up at 370.
375.
I was a bit slow there reading that one. So next in the circle will be Josh Bull, and he was the winner of the under-18 boys pole vault. He's a bit of a decathlete, but he's a very nice discus thrower. He's obviously decided it's a bit wet for a turn. He's looking to try and make top 8 with a nice, safe standing throw first up.
And you think, similar to some of the jumping events, it is important just to get something on the board early?
Well, in these sorts of conditions, yeah, very much so. He's obviously confident that he can do a standing throw that will get him in the top 8. Mm-hmm. Takes the pressure off, and then his second round throw, he can go for it a bit more.
Yeah. So talk us through how that works for those of us that don't know too much about discus, and how the rounds work for a final.
So they've got a maximum of 6 rounds. They'll all get 3 throws. After that, they'll identify the top 8 performers, and then they'll put those in reverse order from 8th ranked up to 1st ranked, and that's the order that they'll throw in for the final 3 rounds. That's a recent change from IAAF a few years ago, which meant that the winner of the contest, or the possible winner of the contest, is likely to be the person who has the last chance of winning it.
So Trent Haaga there from Southland getting his first throw underway. 682, Max Abbott out of Wellington, 16 years old, waiting on his turn in the circle.
Yes, one of the things you notice when you see some of these kids up live throwing is the size of some of these young men. 16 years of age, I think I was half that size.
I think we're turning our attention now just briefly to the women under 20 200 metre races. They are in the blocks and in the hands of the starters. We'll see if they get away cleanly. This event sponsored by Gary Cochran Hyundai. And the girls are away. They're away cleanly.
And they're away safely in this women's 20 200 metre final.
It's Leah Belfield leading off there. She'd be the favourite for this event.
Making up the stagger inside the first 100 metres.
And Anna Hayward in second place from Canterbury. She'll be pushing on.
Leah and Anna in it. Looking like they're going to close this one out, the first and second. Leah Belford from Waikato Bay of Plenty. And it looks as though Anna Hayward from Canterbury did snatch that second place.
From Zoe Taylor, I think, was the Auckland girl.
Zoe Taylor making up a fair amount of distance in that last 20 metres, really to push Anna for that silver medal.
And as I was saying before, mechanics will out, and you can see there that as the girls get tired, the mechanics starts to die a wee bit, and Anna Hayward was able to hold on there, but another metre might have been different. We've got good conditions today, apart from the lack of temperature, because it's a nice wind. The southwest wind is ideal for the 200 metres on this track.
Lee Belford sporting the full tights, and I think I would be too.
Yeah, well, you've got to stay as warm as possible. It's about being hot. One of the things I have noticed in wandering around the track, the number of young athletes walking around in shorts in cold weather. They don't quite understand that when it's hot, it works better.
Yeah, they're wearing Otago singlets. They make them different down there.
South Island manager for one of our sponsors, Selming.
This looks like the Canterbury athlete, James Coates. Season's best of 44.12.
In third place, from Hawke's Bay Gisborne.
So he's a contender for a medal there. He's about fourth ranked in the season, so he'll be looking to start off his competition positively.
In second place, from Auckland, with a time of 12 minutes 51 seconds, it's Nelson McCutcheon.
No, he's not pleased with that one. Fell out the side. I think the discus went out of the sector as well. So, as I was saying, if you haven't got a dry discus, it makes it very, very difficult. There's only a very small rim edge of the discus you're trying to hold on to with the tips of your fingers. So you really want it to be as dry as possible.
Congratulations to our medal winners in the men's 3,000 metre race walk under 18.
That was the men's under 18 3,000 metre race walk medalists on screen.
So it's Zion Trigger-Faitale who's stepping up. He's dried out the circle as best as he can with the towel, because the start of the turn is vital here as well. They want to be able to turn and push across the circle, and if it's wet, it's a lot harder to push across.
Great first throw.
Yeah, again, they're trying to secure a top 8 placing as early as they can to take the pressure off, and then they can go for it a wee bit more. So Zion there. You can see, nice turn, doesn't quite get across the circle, and oh no, he's fallen out the front. So it was a bit of a butterfly throw, that one. So the discus looks like a butterfly as it flies through the air. That means that they haven't really been able to control the grip of the discus.
Which must be incredibly hard when it's wet.
Very.
So we'll wrap things up here with Terry. Terry, mate, thanks for sitting in with me for 45 minutes. Keep me company and keeping the chat somewhat decent. Good luck for your athletes who are competing this afternoon.
Yeah, well, I think we've got despite the weather, we've got an exciting lineup of talented young athletes.
And I'm sure Hayden and I will do our best to call it without the expert commentary.
I'm sure you'll be fine.
Thanks, Terry. Appreciate your time. Hayden, welcome back, mate. You can drive the bus now. I think people are sick of hearing my rubbish commentary.
No, it's sounding good. You guys had it well under control.
Your voice has had a little bit of a break. You've had some food and a coffee.
Yeah, it felt like a bit of a marathon effort yesterday with some of our commentary team going absent without leave.
He was here this morning. I can vouch for him.
I think he was running away from Lisa Adams.
Yeah, there was definitely some animosity.
He said some sort of cheeky remark about Lisa, and Lisa was on the hunt for him. And of course, Lisa's a lot stronger than poor old Hamish.
I would certainly say that. He did snatch her for an interview, and I was super impressed at the humbleness of Lisa. She looks towards achieving some of her big goals for the rest of the year.
Yeah, and we had an exciting day in the para shot put yesterday with Lisa Adams getting a world best, a 101% effort as in relation to the world record. And then we also had Taylor Clement throwing 8.4 in the shot put, so she's in the F43 category, and that was a 101% to world record throw as well, so that's a world best and world lead. So exciting times in the para athletics, and very cool to have world's best ever performances happening right here in Puna. So highlights from this morning. There's been a lot going on.
Oh, there's been heaps going on. It's been a bit of a... I think I've been here for 2 hours already. A highlight for me just sitting next to Terry having a chat, actually. He's a man that knows what he's talking about, certainly more than me. Nice composed character. Been around a long time, had some good things to say. Learning a little bit about the pole vault, a little bit about the discus, and watching some of the hammer athletes, big powerful athletes, performing well in the conditions. But certainly those 1,500 metre races and the steeplechases too, proving a tactical battle.
Yeah, totally. It's one of the days that I love at the New Zealand Athletics Champs is the Sunday with the 1500s. It's certainly one of my favourite events, not to be biased or anything. So here we have Nicholas Kinney, who's been really the man on fire in the discus in the under-18 ranks. We've seen him many times this weekend, and he's a phenomenal thrower with a 58 coming into the competition. Have we got an update of what he's thrown so far?
I think that's an update there, 49.65, which according to Terry is pretty phenomenal given how slippery the discus is and the circle. As you can see, those athletes, they've got a towel in there at the moment trying to soak up some of the surface water and keep the discus dry. You've got the leaf blower out, only in New Zealand.
Desperate measures.
You would not get that anywhere else. That is fantastic. Put that on a highlight reel, tech crew. That is Kiwi ingenuity at its finest.
So as you can see, the weather conditions not particularly summery. I checked Met Service and we're sitting around 13 degrees, which was probably ideal for our steeplechase guys before. They're probably enjoying that and probably still needed the water jump to try and get some water on them to keep them cool. But I actually managed to squeeze in my Sunday run this morning in the without any rain.
Fantastic.
So,
where'd you go?
Oh, just a few laps of Hagley Park.
Oh, the classic hag.
Yeah.
Was it around the outside or the figure eight?
I mixed it up a bit actually. So I did around the outside loop and then I got lost in the middle.
In the gardens?
Well, it's just, there's paths going in weird directions.
There is.
Yeah, so I had to keep checking Google Maps to find out where I was, and then it's like, oh, there's the oval again. I'm back here.
It's haunting me.
Yeah.
It keeps coming back.
But yeah, beautiful place to run.
Certainly one of the assets we've got here in Christchurch for training, especially in the winter.
Yeah.
Fully lit after work. Many of us, obviously, athletes, do hold down full-time jobs and have families, so sometimes that 7 p.m. tempo on a Tuesday night, the Hagley Park is required.
Yeah.
This, to me, looks like the long jump.
With a jump of 6 metres 50, it's Adam Stack.
Under 18 men's long jump.
Officially best man bun of the weekend.
There's been some good facial and hair.
The silver medal goes to Southland with a jump of 6 metres 50.
Yeah, athletes known for their good taste in fashion styling.
Probably a stretch.
And
are we wearing the same outfit again today? No, you've got different pants on today. I'm wearing exactly the same thing as yesterday.
And I've got another warm one which I might have to put on.
Yeah, so conditions are around 13 degrees, which isn't ideal for the more explosive events. Here we have Manaki Kolmoana.
And he just snuck that one into the right-hand side of the V, so it will count.
All right, so let's run through the under-20 men's 200-metre final. Whoa, this is where we're going to see who can They've had the benefit of Edward Nikitia not being in this competition, not being in any of the 200s. So here we go. Damon Shute from... Oh, that was the wrong list. Okay. Do you want to run us through the start list there?
You're going to drop me in it.
Okay, you go for it.
Hayato Ionetti in lane 2, Daniel Parks lane 3, Matthias Pio in lane 4, Isaac Oliver lane 5, Cody Wilson lane 6, George Koslov in lane 7, and Timothy Horton in lane 8.
Well away, Cody Wilson from Wellington.
Yeah, absolutely. So watch eyes on Cody Wilson. He's a very strong performer. Also Isaac Oliver inside of him. But it is Cody Wilson who's running very well at the moment. Maybe the Waikato Bay of Plenty, but it's all about Cody Wilson as he comes through. Waikato Bay of Plenty second, Matthias Pio, and I believe Isaac Oliver coming through. But there's your national champion, men's under 20. And is that right? 21.65.
That's not bad running in these conditions, Hayden. I'm giving Oscar a little break. His voice and his spirit is broken having to listen to your rubbish banter all morning. But fantastic running, Cody Wilson, the 19-year-old out of Wellington. Someone shake that man's hand and shake his coach's hand. They've done a fantastic job. That's a convincing win from Matthias Pio out of Waikato Bay Plenty. And as you say, 21.65, whooshka. That's not bad at all.
Well, I think it's Cody Wilson who took the win in the end.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
From
Matthias.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
sorry.
I'm
with you.
Yeah. We've got the junior men's discus action.
English, I'm learning it.
Of all events, I know we've been saying it, but of all events, I think discus is the one that will find these conditions most challenging. It's just physically very hard to grip that discus if there's any moisture. I've seen a couple of duffed throws. You see them with the towel really drying the surface.
We've had a leaf blower out there this morning.
Yep.
Blowing off the water off the surface.
Well, the lights only just got turned off about 2 minutes ago, so it's officially daylight now here in Christchurch.
At 11:06.
Yep. The temperature's not too bad. The athletes huddled around in the little bits of shelter that are provided here and there. Got the Cantab in the circle now.
Yeah, Joshua Bull, 17 years old, out of Christchurch.
Yeah, you look at the size of that discus, you underestimate how big it is. Slow, steady approach from Joshua Bull, using his strength to sling that out around that 40-metre mark. We've got the women's steeplechase happening soon. I saw Rosa Flanagan out on the track. It'll be one of her first appearances for the summer. Rosa Flanagan on the comeback trail after some well-publicised issues with...
ceremony now for the women's 10,000-metre race walks.
Well, we could call them health issues.
Yeah, health issues, relative energy deficiency in sport. So just dating back from her teenage years, systematically just not getting in enough nutrition.
She wrote a great blog about that, actually.
Yeah.
Really honest and open, and a good blog for parents of girls
and
who are training to read.
There's a couple of talks on YouTube, a TEDx talk, and she spoke at the Athletics New Zealand Club Connect conference about it. So she's really out there making a difference. Here are some results to hand. The junior women's 200 metres. Tiawa Muru's favourite daughter, Leah Belfield, takes the win, 24.90. Congratulations to her and her coach, Murray Green. Anna Hayward in second, 25.45. Zoe Taylor, third, 25.48. Very close for second and third. Congratulations to the rest of the finishers there. Really good geographical spread in that junior women's 200 final. The Wellingtonian.
Congratulations to our medalists.
That's Max Abbott now winding up. And there's yellow flag, so he can go again. He's going to do a standing throw. Really put off by these wet conditions, Max Abbott. He was running out of time. He had two false starts on his wind-up. Didn't quite get it right. ended up just quickly getting in a standing throw, and it's gone wide right, so he's sliced it out to the right a little bit. Good intuition to try and get a throw in. We will stay with footage of this next discus thrower.
Yes,
tries to drive the
Sam
circle.
Cole.
Sam Cole, but after that we're going to try and catch the coverage of the start of the senior women's 3,000 metre steeplechase.
I mean, how many towels do you have to bring to a competition like this? It's
normally just two. Normally two, but I imagine some of these athletes may have
grabbed the hotel towels on the way out the door this morning.
There's going to be hotels all around Christchurch who are short of towels and going, we're not going to have these track and field athletes back again. The discus finals brought to you by Aon, a fantastic partner of Athletics New Zealand and the Jennian Holmes Athletics New Zealand Track and Field Championships.
Now, I was just looking through the results for that 200 metres, the under 20 200 metres, and Cody Wilson, he's got a personal best set just earlier this year of 21.72. So that 21, was it 75 or 85?
65.
65. So
yeah, so it smashed his PB.
Unofficially a PB. So here we have
Navajo Prentice taking an early lead from her more favoured teammate, Rosa Flanagan. There's Lillian Braun in third, who's actually a junior. So you've got three senior women racing. Amanda Hollier from Auckland, 159. Rosa Flanagan, the diminutive figure, coached by Maria Hassan, but here leading first-year senior Navajo Prentice, who had a great race in the 5,000 metres on Friday night. And taking this race by the scruff of the neck, leading her more fancied rival, the former world champs representative Rosa Flanagan on the comeback trail. So Lillian Braun, the junior, Rosa Flanagan's happy to sit on her shoulder at the moment, and Amanda Hollier, she'll be happy if she can stay with either of those two and be dragged through to a PB.
10,000 metre race walk under 20.
So fantastic. So just to run through those PBs, Rosa Flanagan has run 10:30 before for the 3,000 metre steeplechase, which is really
now these PBs or are these season's best?
Oh, that's a good
question.
That'll
tell with the information we're given.
That'll be a season's best for Rosa Flanagan. Amanda Hollier's 11:18. That will be a personal best and a season best. Navajo Prentice, I'm unsure, but she's certainly going out at a pace faster than what's listed here, 10:52. Really courageous running. She's kind of not intimidated by Rosa Flanagan and is just going out and running her own race. She's a very capable technician over the hurdles, Navajo Prentice. She's kind of come on in the last couple of years. She wasn't, I'm sure she won't mind me saying she wasn't a stellar kind of standout junior, not a name that a lot of people were aware of on the national scene. But just in the past year, she's come along in leaps and bounds, coached by Maria Hassan here in Canterbury.
And the steeples is one of those events where you don't mind actually doing it solo because you can focus on those processes of getting over the hurdles accurately, getting that stride right if you need to jump off your unfavoured foot, just having that room to do that rather than being in a pack. So she won't mind having a bit of room here to just time trial this. And in the very early stages of this senior women's and under 20 combined steeples. She is well and truly our leader. And don't worry, she isn't running off the track. Of course, we have to adjust the track to fit in this water jump. So they'll be running slightly shorter laps than usual, which makes the keeping track of splits a bit of a nightmare.
Almost impossible. It's been great to see Navajo make some fantastic progress in her running over the last 3 or 4 years. Been watching her closely.
So she's based here in Christchurch?
Yeah, yep. Some fantastic results over cross country and now obviously in the steeple.
3,000 metre steeplechase.
And Rosa Flanagan just pulling away from that little pack of 3 behind her. So looks like Canterbury at the moment 1, 2, 3, but of course we've only got the 3 competitors in the senior women's competition and then the one in the under 20s as well.
As we found out in the under-18 men's 2,000 metre steeplechase, a lot can happen in the last lap with a fall happening on the last water jump.
And yeah, as that fatigue gets in, it gets harder and harder to navigate that water jump. It looks like a bigger and bigger drop. And various YouTube clips of steeples fails go through your mind as you're coming up towards those solid barriers, and they don't move.
No.
The steeples barriers, you can't just knock them down like you can in the sprint hurdles.
She does look super smooth though.
Sponsoring this event is Selman and Warren Fowle.
Can't discount Rosa Flanagan though.
Selman will be presenting the medal.
So a little step on the hurdle and then 1 foot in the water.
In third place today from Hawke's Bay, Gisborne in a time of 55 minutes 54. It's Graham Jones.
Thoughts go out to Eric Speakman, who we were hoping to see in the men's steeples this year, but he's actually
stress reaction, wasn't it? Was it a stress reaction? Or
yeah, I think he hurt his
hurt
heel in the. So there we go, 21.71 confirmation. I believe that's a PB for Cody Wilson in pretty tough conditions, and we've got a 0.0 wind reading, so that can't be much more than ideal. Then Matthias Pio picking up second, very closely followed by Isaac Oliver of Wellington.
14 is Tony Sargison. And our gold medal winner in this event from Wellington in a time of 41
Back at
minutes.
Discus is Nicholas. He must be attempting throw number 3.
Yeah, Nicholas Kinney. Good, solid throw, dealing with this water well.
Congratulations to our winner.
And Oscar, I know as a man who would favour himself in the mud and the cross-country conditions, this is a classic example of when it's raining. You don't want to just say, oh, I'll do a gym session today and not do that training session in the rain, because you never know when you're going to get a day like this where you've got to be throwing the discus or jumping the hurdles in the rain.
Absolutely, Hayden. Unless it's sideward sleet, a good Southland man will always get out. And woman, sorry. Good Southland man and woman will always get out and get the job done.
Have we ever had sideways sleet at the New Zealand Track and Field Champs?
No.
Possibly once or twice, I don't know.
I can vouch for the start of the Christchurch Marathon.
Now, is Rosa Flanagan making a bit of a comeback here?
I think she is. She's obviously
looking very strong. Just the difference in the cadence, and look at the difference in the heel recovery of the two athletes there. So Rosa Flanagan moving a lot quicker than Navajo Prentice.
Rosa, with a lot of experience, knows what she can and can't do over those first few laps. Knows how it feels when the burn goes on.
So that lap counter down in that bottom right corner is not quite up to date. So I think we're a little bit further through than the lap. But here we go. Rosa has
laps to go.
Oh, laps to go.
Yeah.
Yep, that is the one.
We got there in the end.
So we have had a change in the lead, and I spoke too soon. I said a few laps ago that Navajo was looking well in charge of this race, but Rosa really proving her experience in this event.
Cross-country pedigree and track pedigree. She's just fast.
So
yeah.
Everything
pedigree.
Yeah. Obviously a great story for Rosa in the last 12 months.
Yeah,
and around her personal life.
Hamish and I were talking about her openness about the health issues that she's had over the last few years, and how she's still proving that she can do it. This is the case with a lot of our athletes. It's always a balancing act, performing at your very best, giving 110%, and managing those health issues that will come up as a result. And here she goes, clearing the hurdles without the need to touch them at the moment.
You're right about the heel recovery. Super smooth.
Yeah, and she's just opened up a huge gap. Look at Navajo's just struggling. You can see it on her face. She's not enjoying these last few laps.
Hard too when that banjo string breaks.
Yeah.
I read a great article. Steve Magnus, you might have seen that floating around on Facebook. He talked about the banjo string. And what happens when that breaks, the head goes down. It's not going the way you expected it to go.
So both feet landing in the water pit, but she's pushing on strong, looking comfortable, looking like Rosa is going to be our senior women's champion, but we've still got 500 metres to run, and as we saw in the men's race just earlier, anything can happen. So it is Canterbury 1, 2, 3 at the moment. So Liliana Braun, she is the only competitor in the women's under 20. And so we imagine Amanda Hollier, we haven't seen her recently, but we imagine she will be in the bronze position for the senior women's.
Yeah, she's coming through now into that water jump in that back straight corner. Rosa streaking away well into her running.
And here you just need to concentrate.
Don't hit the hurdle. Don't hit the hurdle. Don't even think about the hurdle.
Yeah.
She's getting stronger and stronger.
Medal ceremony now for the women.
And of course with the steeples, as opposed to the sprint hurdles, you don't know which foot you might have to jump off. It's not like you've got a certain number of steps between the hurdles that you're going to hit and hit it with rhythm. Often you have to jump off your left or your right, and the better you're able to do that, the better you can avoid chopping your stride, as we just see Rosa just chopping that stride a little bit to make sure that she's safe over that last water jump. So she'll have one more hurdle to clear here, and then the national title is all hers. She's had an incredible story over the last few years, getting back into fitness.
Congratulate Rosa Flanagan as she comes.
So here she comes out of Canterbury, hometown hero.
Great effort.
National title, raises her hand. She's very happy with that one.
Also from Canterbury.
It means a lot to her. And Navajo Prentice, she's battled away after an early lead earlier in the race. She's feeling it. And there's debate out there. The sprint hurdlers and the distance hurdlers will debate this all night long about what's the harder event, the 400 hurdles or the steeples. It's subjective, of course, but got to say the steeples is a brutal event. Whoever invented that one.
Who did invent that one?
I don't know, but I'm sure they got fired from their job in the athletics world, because that is a nasty old event. Solid hurdles to jump. 3K and a water pit, just throw that in there. Let's build a pond on the track, make them jump over that. But Rosa is your winner. And here we go, recapping the men's under 18 long jump. So Charles Annals winning in 6:58, and it was reasonably close competition with Samuel Collier just 6 centimetres behind, 6:52. Adam Stack in 6:50, so they're your medalists. All of our competitors over 6 metres. So good jumping in light wind conditions. And so that was the top 8 of our men's long jump. Of course, we had a good solid field of 17 athletes competing in that. So good to see these field events getting really good numbers. When we're looking at the hurdles and the steeples that traditionally sort of struggle for full complements of entrants. Great to see the field events well looked after with competitors.
We can blame the Irish for the steeplechase.
Ah, there we go. Of course we can. So when was the first time we saw the steeples?
Well, we'll believe Wikipedia. The modern athletics event originates from the 2-mile cross-country steeplechase that formed part of the University of Oxford Sports in 1860.
The steeple.
Yeah.
There was, from what I know of it, it was called the steeple because there was two churches that they had to run between and jump the fences on the way.
It was replaced in 1865 by an event over barriers on a flat field, which became the modern steeplechase. It has been an Olympic event since the inception of the modern Olympics, through varying length since 1968. Anyway, enough history. There you go.
Yeah, a little
Wikipedia. Adding some value to our listeners.
Yes, absolutely. And if you've got any interesting fun facts, feel free to share them on the Facebook comments under the live stream. It's always good. There's some interesting stats around. And one interesting one from this weekend was the 400 400 hurdles double, which has not been done for a very, very long time. So Oliver Miller won the 400 metres yesterday, the senior men's 400 metres, and he also won the 400 hurdles. And the last time that was done, from what we know, was the summer of 1897.
That's a long time ago.
Yes, and I'm very surprised about that because we've had some great 400 hurdlers, particularly recently, the likes of Cameron French, and I'm surprised that they haven't also picked up a 400 title when you've got some sub-50 400 hurdlers in the country.
What are we?
Yeah, so we've got a para 1500, I believe, or is it a para steeples?
I think it's a 1500 metre para open.
That one caught us by surprise.
Anton Bessling from Taranaki, Guy Harrison from Hawke's Bay, Gisborne, and Alexander Mcintyre from Canterbury.
So as we've seen all weekend, we've got three events, 3 classifications going all at once in the para. And so how we'll work out our winner is the percentage of world record, which makes it a fun maths job for our hard-working officials up in the information box. But as we can see now, the wheelchair athlete, our Canterbury athlete, is winding up. Alexander Mcintyre going in lane 2 there. And we have the women's triple jump.
It's one of the events Terry was talking fondly of when I sat in the chair with the great man for 45 minutes. He was saying it's going to be a fantastic competition.
So there we had Jane Awunza of Auckland City Athletics. She's got a season's best of 11.06. Some of the names we want to keep an eye out, 12 metre plus performers this season. Greer Alsop, Ashley Bennett, Anna Thompson and Kayla Goodwin. But we've got a good field of 12 athletes, so when we go back to the triple jump, we'll go through that full start list for you. But on screen, we have Alexander Mcintyre pushing his way around this track. He'll finish a lot faster than the other boys in the race for obvious reasons. The wheelchair race is very similar to a cycle race where it's you obviously have the momentum of the wheels that can carry you and you get up to some very good speeds. And it can be very exciting when you've got a lot of guys flying around the track well in excess of 20 k's an hour. Here we go, back to the triple jump. Jakoa Palmer.
20 years old out of Otago, season's best of 10.60.
And our Tahitian athlete just overstepping the mark.
Get that leaf blower out. Get that water off the circle.
I feel for our Tahitians as they come over here. Last year we had good warm conditions up in Hamilton, but got to say, 13 degrees, cool southerly blowing, drizzle.
Alan Stevens, our New Zealand Athletics Life member, will be doing the
makes you tough.
Today.
Yeah.
Or sick. Probably both. Still a good crowd here down at Napunawai this morning.
Yeah.
The grandstand. It's a small grandstand, but it's full at the moment.
It's very chocker. People sharing seats under there. There's tents and umbrellas, and everyone's trying to get out of the light drizzle that is falling.
Mr. Jan Vanderfeet walking past the commentary box as he gets ready for his 3K steeple. He ran his first ever steeple. There's some local knowledge for you as our para athletes get the bell lap in 1500 metres.
Andrea McDowell on the triple jump.
She's out towards 11 metres.
And they're on the last lap in the men's.
Yeah, so Alexander Mcintyre has the bell in the para 1500 metres. Pounding away at those wheels. It's a real burner on your arms, this one, obviously.
And then we have
but behind him,
Harrison from Hawke's Bay, Gisborne with a lap
Anton Besseling He's finishing very strong.
He's made up a lot of ground.
I've run with this boy a couple of times in Taranaki. Great personality. And a very talented runner. Here he comes. Round that bend. Really straining to get everything out of him.
Grimace on the face.
Every 1500 metre runner will know this feeling. And coming into the home straight, so he's on paper, on the track he's going to be your winner, but on paper we'll find out how the standings stack up in the para 1500 metres. But here we go. Anton Besseling out of Taranaki.
Alexander Mcintyre of Canterbury.
And he's exhausted, as you can well imagine. Alexander Mcintyre coming through. And Guy Harrison, Hawke's Bay Gisborne, up on his toes, finishing strong.
Guy Harrison, Hawke's Bay Gisborne, finishes his 1500 metre event.
And there we go. Our men's para 1500 metres done and dusted. Hands on knees. That seems to be the option, either hands on knees or face to the floor.
there was some athletes being scraped off the rubber yesterday, and the same this morning.
You don't see many victory laps immediately after a distance race.
It looks like Diana out of Auckland competed at number 164.
Women's 1500 metre run under 18. This event was sponsored by Muscle People, and Ian Baynes,
season's best of 11:88.
will be presenting the awards. In third place from Auckland,
so let's just run through the start list of the senior women's triple jump. Great start list here with 12 athletes. So I imagine we'll be cutting down to 8 athletes as we get a score come through. 11:64. That might put her in first place. Very solid jump. So from Auckland City Athletics, we have Jane Awunzi, Jacoya Palmer from Otago, Andrea McDowell, Greer Alsop of Canterbury, Diana Ismagilova of Auckland, Helena Dennison of Canterbury, who we see on screen, number 462, Ashley Bennett of Taranaki, Summer Rutherford of Canterbury, Anna Thompson of Wellington, Stacey Gunn of Otago, Kayla Goodwin of Waikato Bay of Plenty, and Sarah Christensen.
The first 3 rounds have been completed in the men under 18 discus throw. Nicholas Kinney of Northland leads the competition.
So Kayla Goodwin, she's had a fantastic weekend. She won the senior women's long jump
40.92 metres
on Friday.
Zion Trigger Fatali from Wellington, 40.45.
In our men's discus under 18, I believe we've gone through the first 3 rounds, and we're looking at our top 3. Nicholas Kinney, I haven't got his last throw, but we believe it's somewhere around
Rutherford here.
50 metres. Second place in that competition at the moment. Jordan Hitaraka out of Northland.
Hitaraka.
There we go. You've got to say it with a bit of attitude.
Yeah.
And Zion out of Wellington in third place at around 40-45. So good competition shaping up there for those young men.
Yeah, absolutely. Dealing with the tough conditions, a lot of water lying on the ground.
Or my shoes.
Yeah, I found my bag lying in a puddle just before.
That'll wreck your day.
Yeah. Wasn't so much worried about the bag, more the laptop in the bag, but I think it's all good.
This just in, on the Distance Running New Zealand page, not currently happening down here at Puna. Geordie Beamish wins the NCAA Indoor National Mile title.
Are you serious?
I'm serious, as long as you believe Mitchell Small, which many people don't. I don't think he'd be posting that.
Can we get some other confirmation of that? We need to hear it from multiple sources.
I want to... Ben Musson, if you are listening, I trust you. Can you confirm that? Massive if Geordie Beamish has, again, collected that NCAA Indoor National Mile title.
Wow. Well, we've had a Van Dalen, was it Lucy, who won the mile indoor title as well. So fellow Wanganui-ite.
What's in the water?
Yeah.
So back at the women's triple jump.
Is amazing.
We'll put our stuff back in our pants about that one, and we'll.
Yeah, you can tell we're distance runners. We're fizzing on that one.
Like Anna Thompson out of Wellington there, completing her first jump. Season's best of 19, that'd be 12.94 metres.
19 would be up there.
It would be. Massive. 12.45 for the Wellingtonian.
And we're back on the runway for the senior women's triple jump.
Stacey Gunn out of Otago, 25 years old.
So opening up her campaign. Looking like it's in the 10-metre range. She's coming in with a seed jump of 10.75.
200-metre finals. That's the women. They'll go in a few minutes.
And we have an exciting day ahead of us on the track and the field, but on the track, the 200 metres finals are going to be coming up. So next we have the women's under 18 and then the men's under 18. Then we jump back onto the steeples and we take a little break for lunch with the Jennian Holmes People's Mile jumping on the track. So letting people have a chance to enjoy this beautiful track.
Just a reminder of the
and then, of course, the 1500 finals and more 200 finals to come after that. And the 4x4s. So a good jump there.
Kayla Goodwin.
Yeah, so Kayla Goodwin. She's won 2 gold medals already this weekend.
Not a bad haul. She might need some extra luggage on the New Zealand.
And other just the ones that I know about. She may have picked up some other sneaky ones out there as well. I'm sure there'll be some relay teams that have asked for her to join the team. Try and get a measure on Kayla's first jump. Back to the discus. We have Trent Haaga.
Or
was that Max Abbott? Sorry, Max Abbott of Wellington.
Run under 18.
Sorry, Max.
This event was sponsored by Muscle People, and presenting the awards today is Annette Purvis, current member of the Women's
So have we had any confirmation about that mile?
There is a screenshot of a television screen.
Okay.
With Geordie talking to the ESPN3.
Right.
Floating around with Nick Willis commentating on it. So commenting on it. So I'd like to confirm that as seconded.
I mean, for those who are wondering what we're talking about, the NCAA, it is easily the best college competition, university competition in the world, and we see a lot of winners of any event in that competition go on to do a lot of stuff on the international stage, world champs and Olympics. So to win that race would be absolutely incredible.
Congratulations to our winners there in the men's 1500
the likes of Matt Centrowitz, Nick Willis. Did Nick ever win that title? There we go. There's a little question for our
200-metre finals.
For our audience,
our athletic geeks.
Nick, I'm sure you're watching this, so let us know. Did you win this? Did you win the indoor title?
3, Sophie Gill, Canterbury. In lane 4, Maya Broughton, Canterbury. They're going to have a good relay. In lane 5, Taylor Brunger from Manawatu, Wanganui.
All right, so hopefully we can jump over to the start of the 200 metres, the women's under 18. Do you want to run us through the start list there, Oscar?
An exciting list of young women here. Lane 2, Zoe Sphinx out of Canterbury. Lane 3, Sophie Gill out of Canterbury. Lane 4, Maya Broughton out of Canterbury. Lane 5, Taylor Brunga out of Manawatu, Wanganui. Charlotte Holland from Auckland. Gina Maples out of Manawatu, Wanganui. Brianna Irving from Hawke's Bay, Gisborne. And Ashley Farrell from Canterbury. Using 8 lanes. You could throw a blanket over the finish, so it's going to be a super exciting race. And this women's under 18 200 metre.
So eyes on lane 4 with Maya Broughton, but also Taylor Brunga. She's got a recent PB of 25:35, but Maya Broughton, the Canterbury athlete. And also don't discount Gina Maples. She's had a very strong weekend. 16-year-old out of Manawatu, Wanganui. And also just inside of her, Charlotte Holland. So it really is those.
And they're away clean. Oh, they're not. Called it too early. It's always a heart-wrenching moment.
Did you see any?
I did not. It might have been one of the outside lanes.
An update for you from the senior women's triple jump. Started round 3 at the moment and leading the competition.
So there on your screen, wearing 4:39 is Maya Broughton. Coming in with the best seed time in the field.
And Diana Isbagulova at 11.64.
Is it Broughton or Broughton?
I want to go with Broughton, but someone could correct me.
Let's go with Broughton.
Mum or Dad's hanging around. They can come and let us know.
Yes.
Broughton. We unanimous three ways in Broughton.
Oh no, and that's sad news. That
Sophie Gill out of Canterbury has been shown the card. False start. Disappointing for these athletes who have worked hard all year to have something like that happen.
Yeah, particularly in these cold conditions, you're kind of itching to get away, and you kind of got it in the back of your mind. Am I going to be able to hold all my ligaments together in those first few metres?
Worried about my hamstrings. They're away cleaning this time.
All right, so lane 4, Maya Broughton. Also on the outside of her, we'll have lots of ladies, particularly Gina Maples, very strong on the bend, very powerful athlete. But it is Maya Broughton in lane 4, runs the strongest bend, and here she goes. Gina Maples wearing the green of Manawatu, Wanganui, pushing strongly.
Who's going to hold it
together? We haven't even talked about her.
Brianna
Irving.
A huge last 30 metres.
Storming through on the outside. Once again, we have been surprised in some of these 2s and 4s by the runners on the outside storming home. Oscar, talk us through this one.
I can't. I think she looked like she was going to fall. Brianna Irving looks like she might have it. Even from lane 7. Yeah, the Canterbury athlete Maya Broughton, possibly the bronze, but hard to know.
Yeah, you saw Maya Broughton just tying up. So Maya Broughton is in 3rd. It is Gina Maples in 2nd from our reading of it. And then Brianna Irving.
17 years old out of Hawke's Bay, Gisborne. As Terry said earlier, it's the technique that always wins out in these 200-metre races. Who can hold form the longest?
Absolutely. And I mean, as distance runners, we've got no idea how you can get fatigued in the 200 metres, how you can have your form collapse. But that's because we're still accelerating at the 150 metre mark.
Yeah.
But these girls, they're at full speed within about 30 metres, and then it's a matter of holding it together in that last 50, and we saw all sorts of drama in that women's under 18. Great race, and congratulations to Brianna Irving. I'm sure there'll be some happy people back there in Hawke's Bay, Gisborne, so if you're a family member, friend, jump on the Facebook live comments and share your congratulations with her.
Share in the men's hammer throw senior from Auckland with a throw of 58.4.
Let's see if we can get a...
So that was Diana Ismagulova. And that is a stab in the dark at that name.
Sounds like a long jumper.
Yes.
Triple jumper.
Yes, definitely that Eastern European sounding name.
Indeed confirm that it was Brianna Irving.
When you've got a name like that, you're going to be good at a field event.
200-metre event.
And just over the loudspeaker now, Puna can confirm that Brianna Irving did get over.
We move on now to the men's under 18
Gina Maples.
200 metres. In lane 2, we have Damon Shute from Auckland. Lane
and back
3,
on the runway.
Andis from Canterbury. Lane 4, Jacob
Helena
Stockwell
Dennison
from Taranaki,
Canterbury.
who won the 100 metres.
It might be out towards her season's
Tyron
best. She's done a
Hilton
1084 this
from
season.
Lane 6, Jordan Stewart from Wellington.
As this is going on, the 200 metre start, the men's under 18 200 metre race final. The boys are getting ready to go off now. I'll call us through this one. Lane 2, Damon Suit. Lane 3, Quinn Anders. Lane 4, Jacob Stockwell. Lane 5, Tyron Hilton out of Waikato Bay of Plenty. Lane 6, Jordan Stewart from Wellington. Lane 7, Ethan Wallace, Waikato Bay of Plenty. Lane 8, Flynn Murdoch. And lane 9, Kane D. Viris. Again, a full field for the 200 metres, men's under 18. Will we see some high drama?
Yeah, so eyes on lane 5 there, Tyron Hilton out of Waikato Bay of Plenty. He's coming in with a 22.18 season's best. That's not even his personal best. So he certainly is the man to beat. Also Jacob Stockwell from Taranaki just inside of him, and the Wellington athlete Jordan Stewart. So let's see how we go. Tyron Hilton gets a good start, but it is the strong figure of Jacob Stockwell who's running the best of the bend so far. He'll come off in the lead, but then let's see the endurance of Tyron Hilton. Here he comes, getting those arms going. Jacob Stockwell, the 100 metre specialist, but it is the quality of Tyron Hilton winning, and I think we got a sub-22 performance there. Very quick from these boys with a light southerly behind them.
Appears to be Jacob Stockwell for second, and perhaps the other Waikato Bay of Plenty athlete in lane.
Yeah, Ethan Wallace came through strongly.
And the leader in this triple jump,
recently running 22.81 just last weekend. And it was very close for second and third in the end. Jacob Stockwell, after running a very good bend, he's a good, well, I think he got gold in the 100 metres. So he is obviously going to be quick around that bend. And then coming off the bend, it was all about Tyron Hilton as we jump back to the discus.
And I've had some results thrown in front of me from the men's 1500 metre para open. So we know that the placings are done on percentages to world record. So coming in the first place was actually Guy Harrison with 88%. Second, Anton Besseling with 76%. And third, Alexander Mcintyre at 56%.
Yeah, so that's almost a complete reversal of the way that they finished. So it was Anton Besseling who crossed the line first. And so well done, Guy Harrison, picking up the win for the men's 1500 metre para. Now in the background we've got another leaf blower out. You can smell it.
We've got shot putters throwing hammers and leaf blowers out in the field.
And on screen
and presenting the medals today is Paul Spink.
There's the triple jump.
Stacey Gunn out of Otago, her second attempt.
In third place from Manawatu Wanganui with a time of 6 minutes 37.14 is George Lambert. In second place from Canterbury with a time of 6 minutes 30.70 is Maximilian Janzik. And our gold medal winner this year from Taranaki in a time of 6 minutes 27.57 is Luke Weston.
So as we look at the podium there, Luke Weston receiving his medal for the 2,000 metre steeples.
Congratulations to
well
our
run.
winners from the men's
Unfortunate, our Canterbury athlete there just clipping the bar on the water jump.
Now the next race on the track will be the
losing his chance at sprinting for the gold.
3,000 steeples, and after that
as our young men get ready for their 3,000 metre under 20 metre under 20 steeplechase. Whoa, caffeine is needed.
At the 200 metre start on the bank up there, you can see it, the big red one. The open Jennian Holmes mile scheduled to go at 12 noon.
So at lunchtime here at the track, there's going to be an open Jennian Holmes mile, so the People's Mile. So they're opening up the track for a whole whole herd of people to run around the track.
Be interesting to see if Ian lets them in lane 1.
Buddy Small from Southland.
That was a dig.
Rory Bevins from Taranaki.
4 athletes in this race, Hayden.
Yeah, so 4 athletes lining up for the men's under-20 steeples.
Peter Renner still holds the record. Good man, Peter.
Yeah, I imagine he's still got the senior record as well.
Probably. Well, I guess we'll find out in about 3 pages.
All right, and here we go. So George Gurin from Canterbury, he's wearing number 483, leading out there. And we just have 3 athletes, so we can cross out our Taranaki athlete. We've got Ayrton Shadbolt. Is that how you pronounce his name? Do you know? No. And Buddy Small from Southland. So it is Canterbury, Southland, Canterbury. So they will be your medals, any accidents aside. But what order will it be? That's the question.
Senior women's triple jump, Anna Thompson leads with 12.45 metres. Kayla Goodwin, who came in round 3 with a 12.32, is in second. And
as they hit the hurdles, we're starting to see a little gap open up already with George Gurin taking out the lead. He's coming in with the best seed time of 10 minutes flat.
Just a call now for those people.
And then the Southland athlete Buddy Small with a 10.03. And then Ayrton Shadbolt has got a 10.25. So expect it to be around 10 minutes, maybe slightly under as they peak for this event.
And for women, it's the Auckland B, Otago A, and Canterbury A teams. Also,
coincidentally, Peter Renner's record is 8.51. Now, I haven't run a 3K on the flat that fast.
Impressive.
What, my 3K time? Oh, no, Peter's. Okay.
Probably Peter's 3K still, to be fair, but
yeah.
He's a man of few words in a generation that all they did was drink beer and run.
And he's followed by the competitor from Southland, who is Buddy Small.
They certainly weren't going and doing their hot yoga classes after their
yin-yang,
their easy 30-minute jog, and then like us modern athletes.
They were probably at the Parklands pub, seeing how many pints they could stack up on the table before they fell over. I can assure you that's a true story. Not that I'd know.
Allegedly, that's what you're supposed to say afterwards.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
I've heard it from many a good source.
Peter Renner, please don't report us to the Broadcasting Standards Authority. All right, so it is close running still inside the first kilometre of this 3K race. And there we have George Gurin taking the lead, and Buddy Small, and then Ayrton Shadbolt just keeping an eye on the action from behind. Everyone successfully navigating all the hurdles so far. Here's a little quiz for you. How many hurdles, including the water jump, do you have to get through in a 3K steeple?
Oh, don't do that to me. How many laps are we talking?
Let's put that one to the viewers. So if you know that answer.
We trust the guy that's currently navigating 7 cameras, talking to 3 people, guessing, let's say 15. I don't think that's right. I think he's one short, but.
So if you're watching, feel free to put a stab in the dark. Remember, we're looking at, 7.5 laps?
I can thank Phil Costley for my running career. Can't thank him for finishing Year 11 math. It is a standing joke we have together.
So we are talking, for those attempting our pop quiz, we're talking fixed barriers and also the water jumps. Total them all up, tally them all up.
Whatever it is, it's a hell of a lot of eccentric loading.
And for these men, the bar will be set at 91 centimetres.
Good stat.
Not far off your high jump PB.
That is probably not far off. Year 6, little athletics maybe.
Yeah, I can't remember ever breaking a metre, but it's been a while. So it is George Guerin in the lead, but closely followed by Buddy Small. And as we've seen from the senior women's steeple just before, you can never discount a resurgence. The fatigue sets in, and when you start carrying around a piano on your back, these hurdles look a lot taller than 91 centimetres. And already about halfway into this lap, you can see a bit of fatigue on the face of Ayrton Shedbolt and Buddy Small of Southland. But George Guerin looking comfortable at the moment. Looks can be deceiving, of course, as they come up to this water jump. Rather cruelly, often you have a good crowd at the water jump with their photos at the ready.
Yeah.
So still George Guerin, 4.83 in front in the men's 20 steeplechase. George Guerin leading from the Southland competitor Buddy Small.
So we're just trying to ring in some expert comments for some interviews.
A little bit harsh from Craig Kirkwood there. I did get one of his quotes put up on the wall in the shop. I doubt it. Looking at some world records. The 3,000 metre steeplechase. Stephen Sharono, 7:58.66.
Wow.
That is shifting.
Yeah, that magic 8-minute barrier. There's only a few have gone under that. Did our American guy ever go under that, old Evan Jager?
So following this steeplechase,
Faye Smith reckons 28 plus 7 water jumps.
I'm led to understand. One will be a time
To our pop quiz.
Any other entries? Feel free to get those up there. We'll let you know at the end of the steeple how many. And for those who have been watching carefully, maybe you've counted each one so far with a keen of eye. But it is in this under-20s steeplechase. George Guerin doing all the leading at the moment. But Buddy Small looks like he's running a good race, and he's not letting that bungee cord get too stretched. He's staying in contact. We'll be coming up with 2 laps to go now. And you can just see with both of them their cadence dropping a little bit.
Hips starting to tighten up.
This is a call again for the men's 4x100 metre relay senior and women's 4x100 metre relay senior teams. Can you please make your way to the medal tents? That's Auckland A, Manawatu Wanganui A and Canterbury A in the men's, and Auckland B, Otago A and Canterbury A in the women's. We're waiting for you for the medal ceremony. Thank you.
So here we go. Here we have 2 more attempts at this water jump. So George Guerin looks like he's opening up that lead, and he needs to be careful with these last remaining jumps that he doesn't come a cropper nicking one of your spikes on it.
That's George Guerin from Canterbury. And he's followed
Gets
by
the bell
Buddy
at
Small
8:24. This should be a good season's best for him. So George is 17 years old, and he's got a handy 2K steeples personal best of 6:12.
He has navigated that last water jump very well.
Which he did last year.
Still just getting that 1 foot in the water.
So 1 more barrier to go, and then he will be your under-20s men's steeplechase champion. This will be a big personal best for him.
Men's 20 steeplechaser comes up the home straight.
May even be his first 3K steeples from what I can see. So there he goes, arms out wide, the wings of victory. He is your steeplechase champion. Great run. And here we come through. Buddy Small picking up third place, and it will be Ayrton Shadbolt if he can hang it together. And this is the moment where you think some nasty words to your coach who convinced you to do the steeples. It's those dreaded words when you finish a 1500 metre race and your coach whispers, I think we should try the steeples. And then you know you're in for some grueling training.
Ayrton Shadbolt from Canterbury.
So Ayrton Shadbolt rounding out our medalists.
And on the under-18 men's discus throw, that was the
under 20 steeples.
Looks as though we've got Jennian home mixed mile with a 9 Japanese athletes warming up on the track at the moment. I'm not calling that one, Hayden.
And it was 51.9.
So I'm not sure what's happening here. We know the People's Mile is happening, and we've been given a start list, and it is 9 Japanese athletes. So we're guessing there's a few locals, but it must have been before they were added to the list.
Now the next event on the track will be a mile race.
So it looks as though we've got the leader in the men's discus under 18.
Followed by a public mile.
Looks like he's just thrown around 51.83. I'll just get that put back on screen if we manage to get that again. A huge throw in these conditions. Leaf blowers work wonders.
Kinney
is well and truly outside of 50 metres now, taking hold of that competition.
Yeah, looking like he's come well prepared with dealing with the conditions.
So these Japanese competitors, I have their names here. They must forgive me for my pronunciation. But Suta Chiyoma, Jinra Miyazaki, Natsuki Kashimara.
All right, so on the runway there at the triple jump, we've got Diana Ismailova. I've had better attempts at that name.
Yep.
Ismailova. Here she goes.
Hagaruchi and Kanon Yamashita. Those are the names I have in the special mile for the Japanese.
All right, that looks like it might be up towards her best today. She's done 11.64, coming in with a seed jump of 11.88.
Under-18 men's discus throw, Nicholas Kinney winning with 51.9.
We can confirm that Nicholas Kinney has won that men's under-18 discus with a throw of 58.91.
With 44.20 metres, and third was Jordan Hitaraka from...
All right, and confirmation there of the 200 metres women's under 18. So Brianna Irving finishing very strongly with a 24.92. Jenna Maples in 25.01. And Maya Broughton of Canterbury 25.09. So great racing. The women's sprints have delivered this weekend, and they continue to deliver. Looking forward to the senior women's 200 metres later in the day. And this is Greer Alsop, one of the ones we need to keep an eye on in this triple jump competition. And no, that won't beat her best for the day.
Mile start, of course, is the curved line.
So we do have to run through the start list for the People's Mile, this mixed mile. We're not really sure exactly what's happening, because we have 9 athletes lined up, and they are all from Japan. So if someone can enlighten us. Now we do have to also address this general knowledge quiz of how many hurdles, including the water jumps, do you jump when you do a 3K steeples? And it is 35. So you've got 7 water jumps and 28.
Setting off at a good clip. We'll be interested to see what sort of pace they run the first 440
normal hurdles. So there you go.
I think we both got distracted there.
Yeah.
I was well and truly away with the fairies.
All right, so this is, as we just jump back to the triple jump.
Kayla Goodwin.
And here is the people's mile. I've got no idea what's happening.
There's nine men out in the track,
and they're all from Japan. So Sota Chihojima, Jinra Miyazaki, El Inada, Natsuki Kashihara, El Yamashita, Shunsuke Nakayama, Shuya Takayama, Sei Tsunoda, and Ai Matsuda.
You've done very well, Hayden. You've done very well.
I feel like someone's organised this race just for a laugh for the commentators.
Just to stitch us up.
Does anyone know what's happening?
No, never. I try not to, then no one expects anything.
I mean, this is cool having so many Japanese athletes. And so it is a mixed race, so we have women in the race and men in the race, and so there's a good, clear distinction. So we'll try and keep you up to date on who's in the lead. But I have, for the viewers watching, I have zero explanation of what is happening in this race. So number 807 there, Sei Tsunoda, is setting the pace and looking very comfortable. Just behind him is Shuya Takayama.
Goes on the 880 yards time, 2:10 to
very
11,
smooth technique
2:30,
there of our
2:40,
second place runner. Nice and efficient. Japanese athletes known for their efficiency over the ground. So our Taranaki high jumper going clear there.
That caught us out, didn't it?
Yeah, as always, there's
four field events going on now.
We can probably get rid of, oh no, we've got the men's long jump going, so it's all happening.
Oh, that long, I think that.
So it is number 807, Sei Tsunoda. And tell us a little bit about the Japanese running pedigree, because it's almost it's a national sport over there.
You've never met anyone who works harder.
Yeah,
and they've definitely got some cult followings, some incredible Japanese marathon runners.
Yeah, a guy by the name of Yuki Kawauchi has a huge following amongst the running community.
Otherwise known as the People's Runner.
He runs a marathon several times every week, it seems.
Why not?
Most of them under 2:10.
So I believe we will be taking a lunch break after the finish of this People's Mile.
Which it is, Sei Tsunoda. I believe he is an M17 runner as he comes round in the home straight. We'll try and get a split on this because he is running very solid. He's had to lead all the way and he's opened up a huge gap on his competitors. Let's see if we can get a view of the clock as he crosses the finish.
About 4:27.
So 4:27. So that's a good run. Good run to do it pretty much all by himself. And we believe he's, according to the start list we've been given, I believe he's only about 16 years old. As I say, this is the New Zealand Track and Field Champs, if you are wondering. We often have some international athletes, but this is the first time I've seen a race with only Japanese athletes. So I don't know what's going on.
Commercial value.
And the top women are going to run about 5:06, 5:07, 5:08, 5:09.
Yeah, so here is our ladies finishing in the women's race. finishing in about 5:08. And back to the high jump. We're going to go through a start list of this before we take a little break. All right, so the start list for the women's under 18 high jump is Havana Hopman of Auckland, Brooke Batters of Waikato Bay of Plenty, Johanna Koipel of Hawke's Bay, Gisborne, Kate Davies of Canterbury, Courtney Trow of Manawatu Wanganui, Michelle Farmer of Taranaki, Julia Burnham of Canterbury, Jenna Johnston of Northland, Claudia Knight of Canterbury, Josie Taylor of Waikato Bay of Plenty, Sam McKinder of Manawatu Wanganui, Alice Taylor of Waikato Bay of Plenty, Beth Hunter of Canterbury, and Maddie Wilson of Hawke's Bay, Gisborne. So good solid lineup of 14 ladies there. So as they go through those early heights.
Before we have the junior...
I believe we are going to wrap up our coverage now of this morning, Sunday Session 1. Live from Napunawai for the Jennian Homes Athletics New Zealand Track and Field Champions for 2019.
Yeah, we'll be back at 1 o'clock for the women's under 20 1500 metres. 12:50, so join us then.
In this event yesterday was
as we'll just catch Michelle Farmer, I should say, of Taranaki.
12:50 we should catch the end of the women's under 18 high jump.
Thanks for joining us. She goes clear. I'm sure some people will be smiling back in Taranaki. Join us at 10 to 1.
This Athletics New Zealand event is proudly brought to you by Jennian Homes.